season 10. RFL back in the building. Turn the lights up, history starts again. We back, new season, it's that RFL 10. Strapped up, locked in, we at it again. Crowd loud, whole league, feel the pressure we send. From the kickoff to the clock, it's the grind to the end. 10 years deep, but the fire's still young. Rookies chasing crowns, vets breathe through their lungs. Every snap legendary, every drive feels sprung. Highlight reels loading before the play's even done. New squads hungry, old rivals reborn. Everybody want the throne, everybody want the storm, but only one team rise when the battlefield forms. Season 10 ain't safe, this the year we transform. We back, new season, this that RFL 10. Strapped up, locked in, we at it again. Crowd loud, whole league, feel the pressure we send. From the kickoff to the clock, it's the grind to the end. We back, new season, this that RFL 10. Strapped up, locked in, we at it again. Crowd loud, whole league, feel the pressure we send. From the kickoff to the clock, it's the grind to the end. Draft day dreams in the minds of the brave. New faces in the league trying to carve out their name. Season 10 spotlight, every moment feel flame. History in motion, nothing here stays the same. Pace pop louder, the hits more violent. Fans on their feet, no moment is silent. Blood, sweat, grit, every squad stay defiant. Season 10 champions made through the giant. 10 seasons of legends, 10 seasons of fights, 10 seasons of stadiums glowing under the lights. New era loading, yeah, the future look bright, but tonight it's war and we live for the hype. We back, new season, it's that RFL 10. Strapped up, locked in, we at it again. Crowd loud, whole league, feel the pressure we send. From the kickoff to the clock, it's the grind to the end. We back, new season, it's that RFL 10. Strapped up, locked in, we at it again. Crowd loud, whole league, feel the pressure we send. From the kickoff to the clock, it's the grind to the end. Yeah.
Yo, what's good? Relocation Football League fans, it's your boy Smitty. I know it's been a minute since you guys have seen us on a live podcast, but we are back. I'm not going to say that this is going to happen every week, though. You guys already know that. But it was definitely time for us to have one. We're at the midway point of the season. Of course, I wish I could have been able to go as hard as we was going in the beginning of the season with the content and everything, but of course with school almost wrapping up for me, pretty much gonna wrap up exactly when the season ends. I gotta do what I gotta do, but we are here and we got some stuff to talk about, man. A lot of bells to give out, all kinds of stuff, man. And I got my guy Forbes on the podcast here with me. It's about to be a wild one. I just feel it. We're gonna just quickly briefly go through the week 8 games just real quick, just to let you guys know what the final scores and everything was. Then after that, we're going to go ahead and just start looking into teams in the league and just giving our opinions of what's happened so far and our thoughts on, who we thought was about to be something, who ended up not being anything, who we saw was supposed to be something, then they didn't, then somehow they came back, and now they about to be something. We don't know. It's a lot of stuff that's going on in the season. That's all I can say. But before I get into that, Forbes, anything that you want to say before we get this pod on the road? We can't hear you. You might be still muted.
All right, what I want to say so far about this season is just rolling.
Hey, that's our first bell of the day, man. Where the Undertaker at?
And I'll just leave it at that as we get into this stuff.
Yeah, we're gonna have some stuff to talk about, and I'm pretty sure that ain't gonna be the only one. We had a couple crazy trades go through today, and that will make a bit of an impact. So it's gonna be very interesting to see what everybody thinks about what has all transpired so far with Season X. But with that being said, let's just hurry up and quickly go into the scores of the games that happened just this past week in week 8. Now we're at the midway point, of course, week 9. And what is that? That is not it. Okay, that was not it. Am I tripping? Looking at the wrong thing? Yeah, I was looking at the wrong thing. Here we go. Okay. So we opened up week 8, Voyagers versus Armadillos. The Dillos, who would have thought? I'm not going to say who would have thought, because a couple guys already said, hey, it's Roland. We knew that Nyshawn Miller at some point was going to be starting to play for this team. Guy's been saying that since the preseason. And he's starting for the team, man. And I'm gonna give another bell for Roland, man, because his quarterback had over 160 rushing yards in this game. Dude hopped on a game and ended up getting it canceled. So those stats were erased. The 9 sacks for the Voyagers were erased. So let me get a bell on the 2 bells for that. The RIP to Nyshawn Miller's stats and the RIP to the defense for the Voyagers. We started out on fire already. I mean, this wouldn't be a podcast without these bells, right? And yeah, the Voyagers shocking, at least me. I don't know who all thought the Voyagers were going to be this good. I don't think many people did think that the Voyagers at this point of the season would be 6-1. I thought they'd be the worst in the ARC South, to be honest. That is not the case, obviously. They've only lost 1 game, and they were on an undefeated streak until they ran into another team that only lost 1 game, which is, Forbes himself. And 27-22 ended up being the score there. Like I said, I'm not going to go through these games individually real quick there, but the Voyagers got that one. Just a quick recap. The second live game that's happened on Tuesday started off with the Explorers beating the Gunners. They needed a bounce back. They lost their last 2 games in upsets. The Explorers needed to bounce back. They went up against the Gunners, got it done, 37-16. The run game by Atagwe was great. And Tyon Nickerson continues to play well, but unfortunately, the team just as a whole just not talented enough to be able to stand it with the Columbus Explorers. Explorers at this point are 5-2. Gunners are 2-6. And after that game on the very same night at 9 p.m. Eastern, Pecan was able to call Forbes game here with the Diablos and Marshals. Just let you guys know I won $20 off of this. Yeah, I bet it on Forbes to get the job done. And he ended up getting the job done, like the rest of the season, play around with him and say, hey, man, the league's looking forward to you losing, man, and not winning the Reload Bowl, because obviously he's the clear favorite after all the stuff we're about to dive into that has happened since the last podcast. But the Diablos defeated the Marshals 31-27. Again, another team that's only lost 1 game. They've tied. First team to tie this season. Not the first ever tie in RFL history, but tie on their record at 6-1-1. Marshals falling at 500 at 4-4. Having 1 more game before they go into a bye week. And then we get into the premier games. The Hogs bouncing back. Ronnie Shanahan came out and, he wasn't having the best of games, man. And once they sat him down, they won their first game. And then they kind of lost a few more after that, found themselves at 1-5. And then they started to flip the script. The last couple of games, they got it done. Knocked off a really good Bisons team. And they beat a good Miners team really good, man. 40 plus points put up on them. And they beat those. But this week beat the hot Bisons, who were 5-2, 30-17. Did a good job on them there. Same time at 4 p.m. Eastern on Wednesday, the Crusaders were able to bounce back and save their season. 3-5 now on the season. And the Elks, I believe they fall now to 4-4 as well. Elks playing better than expected as well. Jacob McCall's looking good over there, but could not get the job done at home against the Crusaders. 23-20 again, final score there. Then we got into the 6 p.m. games on Wednesday. Barons on a crazy bounce back. We're going to get into a lot of that, of course, after we finish these recaps, because then it's just going to be evaluations. But start off the season really bad and have bounced back and even come back and beat a really good Portland Snowhawks team by was it 16 points here, 38-22. So just showing you what they're capable of doing, which we were kind of looking forward to them to show us in the beginning of the season, starting to show us now where it matters most. Then we saw the Shamrocks handling Rodney, man. 45-28 being the final score there. Shamrocks, another team that desperately needed a win to keep their season alive. They are now 3-4, and the Monarchs, I believe, fall to 3-5. 3-5 after that. So, yep. And then we had the Condors, man. This is a team, no one expected to win a Reload Bowl last year, and they're still doing really good this year. 6-2 on the season, have yet to have a bye week, and they were able to outlast the Lumberjacks 24-21. So that was a huge win for them. And they're looking like they're about to be right back in the playoffs, a team you definitely can't sleep on. And then to finish off Wednesday night, the Miners were able to outlast a shockingly good Aviators team, despite all the key pieces that were lost and aging out and that weren't that good. We didn't expect them to be that good, as good as they are right now. I mean, they are 4-3 at the moment, and still with the loss to the Miners. I mean, they are still at the same amount of losses as the Miners, despite losing, and so this is still a division up for grabs for even them. And so the Miners, though, getting it done. They improved to 5-3. And then we got into the Thursday games. Dreadnoughts outlasting the Tigers. They were really dominating. Then the Tigers started to have a nice little, comeback. Tigers did have a lead for a minute, and then the Dreadnoughts separated. They tried to come back, ended up not being able to hold on to that, and the Dreadnoughts won it pretty good here, 34-27. But by just a possession. So the Tigers still trying to fight. They fall to 1-6-1. So it's been a rough season for them. Dreadnoughts pulling their season back. It's a lot of teams that's coming back from the grave, man, trying to keep alive to make it to the playoffs, which is making this season one of the best we've seen in RFL history. The Pioneers beating the Bulls, big win over the Bulls too. The Bulls started real hot. They were 4-1 at one point. Nick was out there talking heavy, man. You know what I'm saying? Dude's like, hey man, my Bulls, we're doing this. And then beat down started ensuing, and yeah. So we'll see how he handles, that moving forward. But he's an aspiring coach right now, stepping in as a rep. And then here goes a bell we could give out, man, just for trash talking. The Thunderbirds losing to the Sentinels. This is the last team that Q and those boys, Eric Straughter, all them wanted to lose to. And the Sentinels ended up getting it done in convincing fashion, winning by 18 at home against the T-Birds. The mighty T-Birds fall, man, 28-10. I mean, that was an embarrassing loss there. We'll have to see how the Thunderbirds shake back. And then, of course, for the Sentinels, they're 4-4, 500 as well. And then we had the Celtic Tigers having their worst season in franchise history, currently sitting at 1-6. This is the most winningest franchise in RFL history. And after this loss, after the way the season has started, it's going to affect that winning percentage from the franchise. But still a great team. They've been in a lot of games, but just have not found a way to finish them out in the winning column, and almost was able to get it done over their rivals in the Bulldogs, but just couldn't, falling by 7, 27-20. Then we got to our last premier game, another 27-20 score here. The Steamers were able to outlast the reigning MVP and Gino Gannon and the London Black Knights. And not really too much to say, but the Steamers are looking really good. Some type of competition, of course, for sure, against the Diablos, even though the Diablos have defeated them earlier within this season. It's good to see that there is some smoke that Forbes is going to have to go through. You know what I'm saying? Because it's not just looking like a guarantee. I still feel like they're definitely the favorites, but they definitely got some smoke coming their way with some of these teams, the Steamers being one of them. And the Black Knights doing a good job against a really good Steamers team too, hanging in there, but just couldn't get it done. And in the game of the week, one of the oldest and greatest rivalries in RFL history in the ARC North, the Huskies and the Cougars. It was not competitive in the end of it. Calvin Poole just absolutely doing damage, beating the Cougars by 28 points here. Is that 28? Yeah, that's 28 points, man. 43-15. Calvin Poole going off for a touchdown pass, no interceptions. Run game was crazy. These guys were just doing everything against a really good Cougars team who's definitely looking different from last year. So that was all the recap right there of week 8. I just wanted to hurry up, speed run through that. And now, with that being said, yeah, the fastest one right there. I didn't, it took about an hour to hour and a half for us to usually go through that. It's out the way. And so anything you want to say about any of those games? Is there a game that just caught you off guard you want to talk about, or you're just like, wow, how did that happen, before we start getting into season evaluations?
Really just the Thunderbirds Sentinels one. A lot of people thought the Sentinels weren't going to be very good at the start of the season, and for the Thunderbirds to come out and only put up 10 points, you just got to hope that that's LC3's worst game of the season.
Yeah, he played pretty bad in that one. Let me see that. RF. trying to check something out, see if I could bring up. Yeah. Oh, go home.
Anything else in week 8?
Trying to get into something real quick, guys, just so I could be able to show you guys Neon Sports, so you guys get locked in with the league. I'm about to just go to where the teams are. Well, I guess we can just leave that like that. And go to yes. Boom. And let me just bring up an extra window, man, just so we can have something to look at when we get into it. Because right now we're about to go dive into just the season, how it's going so far. So, boom. There we go. We got Neon Sports up. See if I can this a little bit, make this a little smaller. And it's taking a minute.
Yeah.
Not what I was expecting.
There's definitely a lot of shocks in the league though so far.
Yeah, and this is kind of small, so I think I kind of have to full screen this thing almost.
You might have to screen that.
Yeah, it's looking miniature. Oh, it's not even looking right.
Well, can't you just fit it to screen?
You said what?
So can't you just fit it to screen if you were to like because remember I had to do the same thing.
I feel like that might actually look let me try something else.
All right.
Okay. Bad guys. Let me just do that for now.
And I mean, QPOC, I can talk about the Thunderbirds all I want until you beat me, you know?
Oh man.
I beat you guys last time, so I get to talk all I want until we play again. That's kind of how it works, you know what I mean?
Boy, Forbes talking spicy. Spicy.
Because it would be the same way if they would have beaten me, you know what I mean?
Talk crazy over here, Key. Y'all gotta get him next game. All right, let me see if I can do this. It should make it better. There we go. Getting back in the hang of things, guys. It's all right. Little slow right now. But getting it done. There we go. Up a little bit. All right,
You want to
so
scroll up because that's showing the standing. Do you want to get through the standings before you look at the playoff picture above?
playoff, we're not gonna really get into no playoff picture.
Okay.
Yeah, so just looking at standings right now. Hopefully it's showing this stuff accurately, but
It
is
is.
it showing? Okay, cool. All right, so we got league leaders and stuff like this. Let's just go to the standings actually. Might look better.
You want to go
Division.
by conference or by
Division.
division?
All right, so of course we're starting in the original conference, the ARC first. And let's just get a look at some. We're just going to go through each division, each team, and we're going to talk about our thoughts on how they've performed so far. So first, starting out with the ARC North, we had the Huskies, Cougars, Pioneers, and Hogs. So I'm trying to remember what I had as. Matter of fact, I can go on my Instagram real fast because I know I still have that on the story.
I think it's currently. I think you have. I think this is how I predicted it. The Huskies 1, Cougars 2, Pioneers 3. I think you had the Pioneers at 2 and the Cougars at 3.
So what I had the Huskies, the Hogs, the Pioneers,
Oh,
and the Cougars. So the
you had the
Huskies are
Cougars
doing what was
last.
expected. Yeah, because I just thought I felt like at that time I was just like, man, they got all these pieces, but they were still young, and I just felt like we saw the trajectory of the Pioneers from last year. We saw the Hogs do good, with Ronnie, and then I kind of expected that if it got bad, Lane Kearney would come in as he did, and still have them sitting pretty nice. Which they're not too bad off right now. They're still within a few games. So yeah, this is off in that regard. Um, I think, did I say the Pioneers? Yeah, so the Pioneers and the Huskies for me are in the same spot. Huskies are 7-1 though, man. They are definitely performing really good. Calvin Poole is doing really good. Uh, I was not expecting him to ball out like this right now. He's got 21 touchdowns to 2 interceptions so far this season, and he's going crazy. We're about to get into awards because awards are a thing that just came up this past week, going into week 9. So
Mm-hmm.
we
First,
got a
they're
lot of
available.
information. Yeah.
Hmm.
So what's your thoughts on the Huskies this season? Anything? Or matter of fact, let's, instead of just going through each individual team, let's just point out a team, you that we want to talk about, that maybe concerns uh and to get into. So I mean, thoughts on, there was some drama, of course, concerning the Cougars again with user players. Ended up having to trade, trading one of their guys. Um, and we already know the thing with Ronnie Shanahan. Nothing else in this division really like pops out as something to really talk about other than those topics. Any of those you want to dive into, or something else?
I mean, the only thing I say with the Aviator, or not the Aviator, but with the Huskies, which I'll get into when we get to the next division too, is like they're 7-1, and Calvin Poole has looked really, really good, like better than we expected. But you go and look at who they played. Now the Aviators had a winning record, but everyone knows that the O line is something to be worked on. Then they played the Gunners, who have a losing record. They played the Crusaders, who had a losing record. They played the Red Dragons, who have a losing record.
Hold up, yeah,
And
skip
then,
the Miners here. Beat the
yeah,
Miners
I'm getting
pretty
to them.
good.
The
Okay.
Miners are good. I was just going over her, like about half of their wins are because like you look at their schedule, and again, you can only play who's in front of you. But would you not say that the Huskies were favored in all 8 games?
All 8. I mean, I would say yeah, but at the same time,
Now Calvin Poole is balling out and doing what he's
yeah,
supposed to be doing, but I feel like the Huskies are also just doing what they're supposed to. They've been favored to win every game, so they've won every game.
yeah, that could, the reigning champs got them. I just still feel like this is impressive to me. They got the L.
Oh
In this game, they
yeah,
really lost against the Condors. But what's impressive to me is the Miners, still no slouch team. They beat them by 13. And that was on the road, and then they went on the road this week and beat a good Cougars team with
if you
43
look,
points.
they've already played 6 road games and they're 6-0 on the road. They've only played 2 at home so far this season.
Yeah, I mean, this is really good. Like, they're winning by large margins, and that's what you want to see from a
Yeah.
team that's actually pretty good. It's not like they're scraping by, like dog the Aviators, dog the Bulldog. I mean, not the Bulldogs, the Gunners. Had a little bit of scrap here with the Crusaders. Did a good job on the Miners. This was crazy because they had 3 guys suspended. The game was pretty close, but I guess just had one bad game where it was close. Really dogged the Pioneers, who they split with last year. And of course the reigning champs. This was a game that the Huskies really could have won, and they just had one of those bad games again, and it lost them this time. This was the first game Calvin Poole threw interceptions in, which both his
Mhm.
interceptions on the season came within this one, and that really lost them this game. And then to bounce back the way he did, throwing twice as many touchdowns without any interceptions against a really good Cougars defense. I mean, that's very impressive to me. I just think when you're looking at this, that's why the Huskies to me stand out, because those scores are just so big. I just want to see how much they're averaging. When you're looking at this, points,
It'd be the offense 33
oh,
points.
33 points a game. I mean, that's huge at the pro level.
Mhm.
So they got the number
Now,
4 offense. All this is accurate right now, guys.
yeah, and just looking at their schedule, I mean, outside of, I mean, they play the Voyagers not this week but next week, but I think I still have the Huskies favored.
Mm.
Outside of like the Snowhawks and the Voyagers and the Cougars again, I think they win most of those without question.
Oh yeah. So they definitely look like a shoe-in playoff team. I'm trying to remember the last time the Huskies were even in the playoffs. It's been a bit of a drought for them. I kind of want to go in real fast. Anything else you want to talk about with that division?
For the North, no.
While I look up the okay.
Oh,
Let me
well, so
see.
while you're still doing that, I can still talk. Going to the Cougar, or I'll go to the Hogs first. There was talk that at the beginning of the season, by you when we had the podcast week one, of how
Okay,
long
Huskies made the playoff season 8. Never mind.
season 8. Okay, so missed it last season, made it the season before.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, like the Hogs, Ronnie Shanahan looked terrible the first 2 games. If you go to depth chart real quick, actually, instead of schedule, and then click on Ronnie Shanahan.
And in case you want access to this, guy, somebody's got the link to the Neon Sports. Put that in the Discord for guys to be able to. Well, not in the Discord, in the chat for guys to be able to access. There we go. Game log taking forever, ain't it? Okay, there we go.
Oh, there he goes.
2 games he played in, both L's, and yeah.
So you go and look. He had 2 touchdowns to 2 interceptions, threw under 55% completion in the second game. And you scroll over to his rushing. Does it not show how many times he fumbled? Oh, and that bottom bar, that's right underneath like that. Or you see underneath the Red Dragons, there's like a black bar. The San Diego. To the left. Oh, that's as far as it. Oh, click the upside down triangle.
Okay, cool.
There you go.
All right.
And see, he fumbled 4 times in week 1.
Sheesh.
So in the first 2 games, he had 2 touchdowns to 6 turnovers. And that's what really made the difference. And now Lane Kearney's come in and has gone 3-3. So I think that Ronnie is going to have a lot to do, especially being a 78. I was talking with some people earlier. Ronnie's been here a year longer. Now, he started a lower overall, but he's been here a year longer and is only a 78, whereas Dylan Lewis, Colorado Rivers, and Jaden Young are all 81 and higher already.
Yeah. And here's a look at the log for Kearney. Kearney in week 2, he came in, and honestly, this was where we kind of saw where if he had played in week 2, they would have beat the Red Dragons. And this was the only win the Red Dragons even have on the season. And then he got to start the following week. They won their first game against a solid Elks team right now. And then they went on a 3-game losing streak. Pioneers beat them pretty good. San Jose, obviously reigning champs got it done. Obviously tough. These are 2 tough games against really good, solid teams. And the Snowhawks handled it.
But even if you look at those 2 games they lost against the Condors and Snowhawks, he's throwing 75% completion and 340 yards.
Mm-hmm. 4 touchdowns to 1 interception.
Yeah, the defense is giving up 44 and 35 points.
Yeah, so he's been playing really good, and then he bounces back here against a good Miners team. 3 touchdowns, no picks, 4 touchdowns, no interceptions after the 4 touchdowns, 1 interception. So really, this guy's on an 8 touchdown, 1 interception streak since playing against key teams. And just look at the points they're putting up. 45 against the Miners defense, and then 30 against the Bisons who've been hot. That's pretty impressive, man. He's doing a really good job. Completion percentage, he had about his lowest.
Mm-hmm. That if he would have started from week 1, that they're 4-4 instead of 3-5, and they're fighting right there for that wild card spot.
Yeah. And so back, just looking at what they have on the schedule, I really do feel like they got a good shot. I mean, the Pioneers, that's a winnable game for them. I think this is a winnable game. That's a winnable game. The Cougars are going to be tough. Austin's a winnable game. Then this is where it gets tough right here. We got the Huskies, but then CT's not been playing well. So I mean, this is actually a winnable game, I'd say, with the way they've been performing. The Huskies again, and then Louisville hasn't been performing all too well. So there's a chance for Lane Kearney, throughout the season to flip this season around for the Hawks, who again were 1-5 and now 3-5 with their destiny in their hands. So this is going to be a pretty big week 10 coming up for them. These next 2 weeks, they can get themselves to 500, man, and I think it's going to be this is definitely going to be an interesting team to follow moving forward. All right, let's go into the Cougars a little bit, man. So they started their season out 2-0, then they lost 2 games, and they came back, won 2 games. I mean, this was an impressive win against the Bulldogs. I think that was definitely their biggest win. We know the Bulldogs been struggling with their offense, but that was a huge win, bounce back for them after the 2 tough losses to the Crusaders, who at the time were 0-3, and the Pioneers, who were a division rival, and they bounced back, dominated the Sentinels even after that. So that was big, but then to come back, take a real big loss to the Huskies. But again, the Huskies being the team that they are, I wouldn't probably take this loss too hard if I'm the Cougars. But then you go ahead and look at the rest of this. Red Dragons, beatable for them. Uh, uh, Aviators, beatable for them. We're about to get into the Barons, but we know this is a team that just started turning their season around after an 0-4 start. They got the reigning champs there. Cincinnati, we know their situation. That's still winnable for them. Winnable, tough. Winnable and tough. So like the Cougars are even sitting pretty good right now. Any thoughts on them so far this year? It's in that 4.
Yeah, I mean, I think this is about what I expected the Cougars, especially for like this first half of the season. If you scroll back down to their schedule, I think what's really going to define them is starting in that week 13 matchup against the Hogs.
Mm-hmm.
Having the Hogs and the Elks and the Pioneers, the Snowhawks, Bisons, Huskies, having a big win stretch there. Because at that point, it's been the week 10 reload upgrade period. So all of their rookies, that they've had who have been playing should be devved up to a certain point by then. And that's when you need to see them flip the switch and basically win all of those games, maybe split with that Portland and Toronto game.
Mm-hmm.
But with having a rookie quarterback and having a rookie corner and having Wyatt Harris and Devontae Freezer, just all these young players, rebuilding that offensive line, the beginning part of the season for the Cougars is all about just building up the young roster.
Mm-hmm.
So it's going to be that last third of the season, I think, that really makes or break them.
Yeah, it's definitely a great division to look at here. Once again, getting back to these standings and the division. Right now, of course, the Huskies are in the driver's seat with this way their schedule was looking and what they have left. This is a team that I think just about probably has the North in the bag. You can never say that with 100% certainty, but the way they've been playing, and again what they got in the future and the way the other guys are going on, this is a division that looks to be theirs at the moment, and is theirs to lose. Nothing too much to talk about with the Pioneers. They have a representative interim coach right now who could potentially end up being a head coach for them, and DJ Evans. He's got them at 4-4 right now, and
When did you start doing this?
I did this, I think, by like week 3.
All right, because that means the Pioneers lost week 5, 6, and 7.
Yeah, it's been a tough stretch for him. I think he won the first. I think he won his first game.
So I think he's 2-3 overall.
Yeah, yeah. He, learning. I think from this experience with having these interim coaches in, they're starting to learn that the pro level of coaching is tough, man. This is you got to know what you're doing. You got to be very strategic. You got to know your roster and learn on a whim and test and make the right adjustments, because I mean, once you make one bad adjustment, man, a coach could take advantage of that, and it's all over for you. So I mean, these guys, they're stepping in right now, they're learning. Some having success, some not, but I think it's really getting these guys invested to potentially become head coaches, in the future. So that's it for the North. Let's get a look at the South. Again, this is the division, all coached division here. You got Coach Baker with the Voyagers, Coach Tor, he's splitting his duties. He owns the Sentinels, but he's got JJ, an interim step-in coach. Well, I say their head coach right now because I guess he can appoint him as that. Then we have the Dreadnoughts, coached by Coach Frankie J, who's been here since season 4, and another coach that's been here since I think season 5. The Austin Armadillos, coached by Roland Woods, former Barons coach, which now we're in this division with this team and that coach. So now we can really have a lot to talk about in the ARC South. Um, First, I think we already dove into the Voyagers. I guess I could ask you, man, how impressed are you with the Voyagers, and what do you think it is that's making them, tick on the level that they are right now? Of course, I think you have to give that praise to the guy behind the team. Baker's always been a great coach and just has always made sure to put the best his team could give him out there on the field to put his team constantly in a situation like this, building up a team before he got there that was, average at best.
Yeah, I mean, I've talked to Baker about his start of the season, and he's obviously he's happy, ecstatic to be 6-1, but he knows he's got a lot more work to do. Because if you go to their schedule, it's almost exactly like the Huskies, except they really only have one blowout win. They played the losing record Crusaders, a losing record Celtic Tigers, a losing record Armadillos. Now they beat the Thunderbirds, which is huge. That's Monty's best game of the season, putting up 44 on that T-Birds defense. But then they beat the Armadillos again, and when they played the Dreadnoughts, the Dreadnoughts are also 4-4 right now.
Mm.
So he knows that his two biggest games so far were really the Diablos and the Thunderbirds. He went 1-1. Well, now he's coming up on the Black Knights and the Huskies back to back.
Yeah, it's going to be a tough one for sure to tell. And even the Sentinels are a team you can't sleep on. They get a lot of flack with all the situations that was going on with them financially, and finally able to get that all worked out. And they're competing. I mean, 500 always would love to have to sit at that record. But yeah, definitely some tough games coming up here for them. Those two for sure. Miners. Yeah.
Yeah, his next 7 are definitely harder than his first 7.
Yeah.
And that's basically the biggest thing that he's told me, is that he's thrilled with the way Monty's playing, and he's thrilled that with how, what's it called, the morale system in Madden works. He's gotten this schedule and he's gotten his team to perform how they should. So they're all playing with really high morale, and he's hoping to carry that momentum and morale into these next 7.
Yeah, that's huge. And just to get a look at Monty Wyatt, and how he's been playing so far. We go to this depth chart. Monte right here. I think this is his first full season starting. I know last year he got to play, but Glenn Hay was
Glenn Hay started like the first 4 games or something.
Yeah. So just looking at his log, I mean, he's been very impressive. You could see a bunch of 70s in completion percentages. No interceptions thrown yet by him. And I think he's got 12 touchdowns. That's 9, 10, 11. Yeah, 12 touchdowns. No picks. So he's been playing phenomenal. But really gets me about his play is this right here is these might not be a lot of yards, but the times he's decided to scramble and the touchdowns, these 4 touchdowns he's got on top of those 12 throwing for a total of 16, those have came at clutch times and crucial moments where they needed to get first downs or extend drives. So, I mean, he's been doing absolutely everything he can to get this team to win. And you can see right there his worst game when it comes to running 4 fumbles against you guys. That's obviously the game in which they lost. But even in that, 3 touchdown passes, no picks. That's still very impressive for Monte Wyatt. And he's definitely looking like that franchise guy that won those national championships for Ohio State back in CS 3 and 4.
Man, can you go back to that Voyagers depth chart real quick? Because I think the guy that's like really stood out to me, because obviously we played them, is the receiver Jackson Hunter, man.
Yeah, he's been going crazy.
Because I think he
84.
He's been by far their best almost player on offense. Like, I don't know if without him, Monty is doing what he's doing. If you look, he's 2 games with 2 touchdowns or more.
I think this was his best stretch right here.
Yeah,
he's definitely been held kind of in check everywhere else, but those 2 games right here, he definitely went off against good defenses. I don't know what's
Mhm.
going on here. I mean, Monty's doing a better job of spreading out the ball. Uh, but yeah, he's definitely a reliable clutch target to go to when you need the first down or a big play. Yeah, he had three
And then
touchdowns, two had 5 touchdowns in 2 weeks, 6 and 3. So that's impressive.
we're gonna talk about the trades later. You want to talk about the trade the Voyagers made?
Oh yeah, since we're on the Voyagers right now, let's go ahead and get into that. If you want to go ahead and dive into it.
Yeah. So their trade. Let me pull it up here. I know that's the Dewan Church trade to the Miners, right?
Mm-hmm. So it's not
Yep.
updated on Neon yet, but just to show you guys who's getting traded, Dewan
So
Church
it
is.
was Dewan Church and
Mhm.
Tremont Eckel and the Bison's future first to the Miners. The Voyagers got Eric Ashley, Grant Spiller, and a future third.
So the Ashley boys are together. You got Gregory and Eric, both on O line and D line here. Church is gone, is 89 overall, 31 years old. So all those players that he just mentioned, Eckel, which is a 78 overall offensive tackle at 26, and this is kind of who he's getting the sub with Eric Ashley, who, if we go to the
Miners.
Miners, this is who they gave up in return, which was here's Eric Ashley. Here's an 84 overall, 23-year-old user offensive lineman. So that's huge. Um, you know, I want to ask you, Forbes, since you're here, what's your thoughts on Dunn giving up EA? We didn't expect. I sure enough didn't expect it. EA didn't expect it. Obviously, from the comments I was able to read in Discord, nobody really could expect it. Obviously, his brother Mac, also was just like, wow. Um, I could definitely tell that the players were kind of blown away by that as well. But I always kind of had a feeling like Dunn, um, he liked him as a person, but it was always little gripes I felt like he had with his player. Like Eric Ashley with the 54 speed, that might have been a big thing right there. 54 speed, uh, at guard, which he was used. I mean, obviously you can't get past that. That's what he had in college. He's the slowest offensive lineman they got on the field, and I feel like it's things about his player. It was things about his player attribute wise that kind of made him very look more tempting to move him on for the pieces he just acquired. What's your thoughts on
Yeah, I
that?
mean, I think the most shocking thing to me is that if you remember, he traded Nasir Red, the other offensive lineman he got in the same draft class as Eric Ashley. That's
Mm-hmm.
up to an 84 now. Earlier this season, and is now trading Eric Ashley. When I talked to Dunn about it, let's see if I can pull up that conversation me and him had. It mainly came down to his favorite thing, which is money. Um, he said just EA is best as a guard, not as a tackle, which is where he really needs a stud lineman, and you can get away with a so-so guard. So
Mm-hmm.
he'd rather have Dewan Church, who's one of the elite defensive tackles. Because if you go look at the Miners roster, all they really have at D tackle is Brodine, but he's out for the next 3 weeks. Their next highest D tackle was like a 74,
Yeah.
something like that. So bringing in Dewan Church to fill in that gap, but I don't think I would have made that trade as the coach because having 2 to 3 years of Dewan Church is just not the same as having 8 to 9 to 10 years of Eric Ashley, who and
Mm-hmm.
because 84 plus offensive linemen are really hard to find in the league,
Yeah, especially as a user. And I see
especially
guys
as a
talking
user.
about the speed thing, and to an extent, sometimes it does matter because it matters about where you play. Like Pat, that wouldn't make sense for other positions. You can have 53 speed at center. You know what I'm saying? Because you're most of the time you're standing stationary in the middle of the field. It's really about your strength and how you can hold up. So you can get away with this type of speed. He's got center speed. You know what I'm saying? But at guard, you got to be agile, which he is. I mean, you look at these statistics. For a lineman, 75 is not bad. That's pretty good. He's got really good acceleration too, but again, that speed is going to make it a little bit longer for him to pull and get those blocks that he needs on those counters, those screens, and things like that. So that's the only thing that really stood out for me on that, and that's why I felt like, maybe he just didn't feel like Eric was a true guard for him that was going to be effective or a tackle. And of course, the money situation goes into it. But I feel like if you got a beast offensive lineman like this, then, that wouldn't be considered to even think about moving him if you didn't have something that you're looking at that's like, I don't know if I want to have that on my team. And to me, it's just that the speed, I feel like that might be a part of it. And of course, I could be wrong. I'm just giving my opinion, but I do feel
I think
like
it
that might
was
have been a little something.
him also having normal dev because it's pretty much impossible
That
with the
too,
way we
yeah,
do things for that to ever go up.
yeah, yeah,
Because like the way the game works is that like offensive lineman of the year is broken. So like no offensive linemen are ever really going to go up in dev because they don't get stats the same way other positions do.
yeah. Now they could get it only if they do win the offensive lineman of the year, but then they messed that up this year. They got nothing but long snappers, so we can't even go over best offensive lineman of the year awards within this podcast, man. So I mean that sucks. But yeah, that I could see that too, man. Normal dev. Yeah, that's gonna hurt as well. But you look at it, he's still gonna be a really good. I mean, 84, was he 20? Yeah, 23 years old. This is still a really good offensive lineman, man. To the point where that dev is not that effective, and he could still do now cap breakers. So with the cap breaker thing being in effect, that dev, I don't even see that being much of a problem for him anymore. So that definitely was a shock. I was more so shocked too. I thought he talked with Eric Ashley about this, but seeing in the Discord, he said, he just sprung it on him, and I don't know, man. I didn't think that Dylan would probably operate and just do that like that without letting him know. He didn't let the rest of the players know. Not trying to be messy, but this is stuff we got to talk about. I mean, this podcast, we got to get on
Yeah.
these topics. And so when you look at this Miners team, I mean, they're sitting pretty good. They're 5-3. They lost their defensive tackle off of injury, and I'm not sure how long it is. Do you know how long it was? Which was why he was going out looking for one.
I'm in the files. Let me look.
I don't even think he's out too long, like 1 to 3 weeks. This Jack Brodine, is their top D tackles. You can see right here is an 81, not the best. And
He's out for 2 to 3 weeks, but he's been out he was out I think for 4 to 6 when he first got injured.
yeah,
Now it's 1 to 3 left.
yeah. So
But
he
you
ends
can
up
see their
getting,
second tackle is Oscar Ayers, so they did have a huge gap there because I know Will Woolfolk
yeah,
um, had been playing rusty tackle, had been playing there.
hmm yeah. So
So
Wolf
that
they
that
got the
brings up
edge.
another question:
hmm
what's Duncan to do? Because now he's got a crowded room. When Brodine comes back, you have Brodine in church. Is is Woolfolk going to play over Bain or Griggs at rush edge, or is he going to stay at rusty tackle and Brodine's only going to be in base?
Yeah, I think he's just looking at it as he's youth, so it's all right for him to sit out the rest. And I got this. I want to try to make a push for the playoffs and try to win something. That's
Well,
kind of how
actually,
I
I mean,
feel.
if you scroll up to the minor statistics, I'm pretty sure he leads the team in sacks. I think he's already over 10. If you go
Oh,
to
you're
scroll
talking
down
about
to statistics
statistics. Yeah, yeah.
and then go to defense and then sort by sacks.
Yeah, Wolfolk,
Yeah,
10 and a half as a rookie. So could miss out on key dev here too.
I don't really know if you, but even without that, do you really want to bench the guy who's been the most productive?
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
that's a great question, man. Um, yeah, I feel like if you were going, I mean, obviously adding Church is going to make this defense that much more better. Yeah,
Yeah.
but if you're going for that after a guy was just gone for like 2 to 3 weeks, this is going to alter your defense a little bit. So, I mean, I don't think it's going to get worse. If anything, it might be the same. But you are leaving this young guy more than likely off the field from getting dev, which he's devved up really well. I mean, again, an 83 overall at the age of 21 is very impressive. So he's been doing his thing. I know you get XP for sacks. I think it's either 5 or 10, and he's got up to 10.5. So he definitely hit those goals, and obviously that's why he jumped. So yeah, it's a big boost for him, and maybe Dunn's okay with that, But
Yeah.
Yeah, let's go into. We'll save Roland for last because I know we're gonna have a lot to talk about that. How about the Sentinels, man? What's your thoughts on the Sentinels? Takeaways from them so far?
They've been doing better than expected. I don't have too much to say about them because they are a middle of the pack team. Just got a huge win over the Thunderbirds. But yeah, because if you look, I mean, they've beaten the Dreadnoughts and Armadillos, who are in their division, and then they beat the Desperados, who are 2-5 up to this point. So just another, and they killed the Desperados. So that's
Well, I'm
big
gonna
too.
say this just so you know what I mean. Not trying to throw a shot, but Sentinels, hear me out, man. Y'all
What,
know
Marquise Washington was hurt.
Marquise Washington was playing. I don't think y'all was gonna win that game. Y'all did a good job getting him out the game. But when he was in that game, he was lighting y'all up, and then y'all got him out there early, and then y'all killed him when Crockett got in. So it's just like, okay, y'all handled business because he was out of there, and y'all did what y'all was supposed to do. But I'm looking at this, and I'm like, this is very misleading. But then you come back, and you get a good, solid, a great win, 3 possession win over the Thunderbirds. So I mean, that's big.
Yeah, so I think they're doing better than expected, but I wouldn't say they've done anything like eye popping yet. So just to just like keep an eye on them and see how they do for the rest of the season. Now,
Yeah.
if you scroll down, the Sentinels do end on a 5 game road streak. So
Yeah. Yeah, that's a lot. Oh my goodness. All road games. Voyagers, Elks,
they do
Bulls,
play
Bulldogs, Tigers.
now they do play 8 home games in a row. If you look from the Desperados game all the way down to London Black Knights,
Mm-hmm.
so they get to play 8 at home, but then they get to play the next 5 away. I don't know why Madden just does that sometimes.
Yeah. So and when you look at these wins too, I mean, obviously this is the most impressive. I already talked about that Desperados one. We already know what's going on with the Dillos again. About to get to them. And then I think at this point with the Dreadnoughts, I don't think Matt Jones was still playing. So
Matt Jones, yeah, that was Matt Jones' last game was
yeah.
against the Sentinels.
So when you look at the wins they're getting, I mean, of course, that last one was impressive. Those other ones, they kind of have asterisks next to them, where it's just like,
Yeah.
eh, are these impressive? You know what I'm saying? And then you try to look at their loss. They put up a good fight against you guys. Then it's the Bisons kind of started out slow, and obviously the Dreadnoughts beat them there. So yeah, it's his middle of the pack team, kind of like you said. Nothing too much off of that to go off. Anything to say about the Dreadnoughts in this division and how they've been doing so far at this point?
Just that I don't know. I think they muddied up the beginning of the season too much with the whole Matt Jones Owen Jack thing. They just should have started Owen Jack and let it ride.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, Matt might have got that good win there, but then he went downhill here, and he got out after going 1-2. Uh, and I think this was the
Yeah,
comeback when
Owen
Owen
Jack's
Jack beat the Bulldogs. That was big, and the Black
Oh,
Knights beat him pretty
that's
good.
another thing that Baker just brought up. That
Oh
we forgot
yeah,
to talk about. The Voyagers traded for Anthony
oh
Washington.
yeah, Anthony Washington is now on the Voyagers. Let's talk a little bit about that trade too, because AW, one of the biggest risk here is obviously Baker's playing to try to win a championship. His team's playing pretty good. They are definitely looking like contenders. One of the biggest risks though about this move, when you look at the roster, he should be on here though. Let me see, is he? Maybe he's not. Yeah, I didn't update this on time. I can't update it now because we've done some premier games already. Yeah, Anthony
No, he's
Washington
there.
is here. All right, cool. So he's got a really good cornerback room now. So I mean that's a big addition with adding AW. AW though now as he's on his second contract. So with him being on his second contract, with this being his last year, he finally gets player freedom. So with that, one of the big deals for coaches to chat with AW and be like, hey man, what do we got to do to get you signed back with the squad? You know what I'm saying? Of course, that would be free reign up to AW to decide what he wants to do. And that's where the user, you get a little bit, worried. But of course, that's way down the line. You usually don't got to worry about that. But AW being one of the first big name free agents that just came out of nowhere back when we were just taking, you know, uh, players that were putting up content um, as free agents straight into the league. He was the guy who started that and kind of ended it because after that it was like no more guys that's brought in the league doing that. But yeah, this is a big addition, man. What impact do you think he's going to have on this team? Do you feel like he's going to help lead them to a bowl, man?
To a bowl, I'm not sure the Voyagers are bowl ready right now, but I think if they can re-sign him, I think that's a huge case. I mean, you just looked at their corners, and for the first 7 games, they were rocking out with no disrespect to this guy, but with Parker Palmer a CB1.
Yeah. Yeah, let's go. Yeah,
And he's not a bad corner by any means, but he's not an above average and elite guy. So now he gets to go to corner 2, and you bring in the elite corner 1 to shut down half a field and let Parker Palmer take receivers 2, which he's more equal with. I mean, I think this is a huge get. I think this was the biggest hole on the Voyagers team was corner.
Yeah.
So I think he's going to make a huge and immediate impact.
Yeah, that's big, big. Then you look at it, I kind of want to, about Church being gone too, man. That's pretty big too. I would say. Um, yeah, Church was their top D tackle, and you got Jason Henderson who's been doing a great job, and Will Hodges now. Um, you feel like that's going to affect him, even though you just brought in AW. Like, did you just make the defense a little bit balanced back to what it already was after that?
Um, I don't think so. I mean, I think an elite corner 1 is more important than a D tackle.
Mm.
Now we've seen that D tackles have been the leading sack getters this year,
Mm-hmm.
but I mean, it's going to be a huge loss. But he still has Jason Henderson there. He'll have Will Hodges to kind of step up. He's a near 80 overall D tackle,
And just
and
look
as
at
long as
this,
that,
man.
that
Defense number
huh?
2. This number 2 defense in the league
Oh,
right now. That was of course, before the trade. So I mean, AW they're 10th against the pass, which is their worst range. So they're top 10 everywhere. And this is probably more. This is more than likely just going to get better. So this Voyagers team's going to look pretty good, man. I think.
yeah, and I mean, if it looks like they're top 5 in rush defense, I don't think they're going to just randomly drop to 15th just because DeJuan Church is gone.
Yeah. All right.
So
And I think that now gets us to the moment
to
we've been
Roland.
waiting on, man. Roland Woods, man. You can see right there. Roland Woods has made some questionable trades, dude. Like, this is a team, this was a guy who came in first year with the Dillos after having some turmoil with the Barons. Had to flee the coop, couldn't get that job back, so given his last chance here with the Dillos, and he did a great job. Can't take it away from him. Some guys, of course, going to say, "Hey, fluke season." We knew they weren't that good, but I mean, to still lead a team to 12 wins, 5 victories, even though he had that major collapse towards the end of the season, I mean, that's still impressive. He still was contributing to that. He took them to their first playoffs. Good. But everything after that, man, it's just with Roland comes very a lot of head scratching decisions where you're just like, what's going on here, right? And it first started off with the trade where this guy had Chumlee on the team. Now he's got Timmy Merritt, who he's not even playing, and he's playing the rookie Nyshawn Miller, who is now a 70 overall as a rookie. That's great and all, but again, this is what gets you looking at this. 5'9", 195 pounds. And when you look at this offensive line, I mean, literally only one of them is an 80 or above. The rest are old and 70s and below. So he has no good protection for this guy up front. He got rid of the vet quarterback. It got another one, but he's not playing him. He's playing a young guy instead. Traded away a future Hall of Fame edge rusher in Isaiah Ingram. Not only did he just trade him away, though, he traded him away to you. And now we get a look at this Diablos team, which this pretty much almost put the icing on the cake where it made you guys the clear front runners to try to win the chip this year. And just, I mean, look at how crazy this line is. And another crazy stat line that came up is these are the two best sack defensive players to get sacks in league history on the same team after that move. 30-year-old Ingram, 97, and 33-year-old Woolfolk, 88. And he's even, winning awards still. Last season he won an award. Like, wow. What was your thoughts on that, man? Like, how did that even come about? Like, did you go to Roland about that, or what happened? Obviously you did, because you badgered him so much he felt that he had no choice but to give you the pick because you were so persistent about it.
Yeah, that's pretty much what happened. He went 0-3. I was just like, so you're gonna trade Ingram? He's like, no, man, we're gonna wait and see. And then he was 1-4. I was like, so you're gonna trade Ingram? He's like, what offer do you got? I was like, here's this. He's like, I'll wait and see. And then he went to 1-5. I was like, bro, just give me Ingram. And he was just like, okay, here, take him.
Yeah, I don't know about that one right there, Roland. Like,
and that's pretty much all that happened.
Yeah, I want to look at his game log. Yeah, here he is with Austin, right?
Mm-hmm.
Hold on, why is he so switched up? What's going on here? I guess they're mixing you guys again.
No, it's going week 1. It's showing Armadillos, then the Diablos. So like if you scroll over, it's gonna say 0. Or let me.
All right, so let's see what he was doing with the Dillos, though. So he had 2 sacks. And this game's not even showing up. It was from week 4.
Yeah, so he had 2 sacks against the. Let's see, that was what, week 4? Week 4 they played the Desperados.
And then he had 1.5 in week 1.
Week 1 against the Titans.
And
that was their leading sack getter. Those 4 sacks, he was still the leading sack getter on the Armadillos.
Yeah. So that was, you did end up trading Dre Dawkins to the team, and he ended up switching him back to linebacker. So let's get a look at where he's at right now. He's sitting with the team. His first game, I got the call with him playing on that defense. And honestly, I'm not gonna lie, he was definitely a playmaker, made an immediate impact. He's jumped up, 89 overall linebacker to add to a pretty good, linebacking core he's got. So, I mean, that looked good, but again, it's just still so many pieces that was missing, and you take away the pass rush pretty much. You had a good edge rusher in Cam, and you had Ingram on the other side. Now he's gone. You got the young guy McCall. I guess you're going to dev now, and I think he did say it's going to come down to money, but I don't think I would have ever entertained trying to trade Ingram to your squad. That's the part that got me confused, and not only that. What really killed me with that trade, I have not been playing any bells. Let me start playing them. Is you gave that caliber of player to a Reload Bowl ready team and didn't get no draft capital in return. That's what killed me, because honestly, if he came to you with picks instead, I feel like if you wanted him that bad, you gave it to him.
I think I offered him everything I had.
crazy, man.
Because I think all I really had that was tradable was the future first, and that's what was going to get the trade over the edge. Let me go look.
Yeah, that I just didn't understand that, man. Many opportunities to get draft picks, and what really got me is like this ain't the only one. We're gonna go into the next trade, but that was the first trade that really got us like, Roland, what are you doing? And then he does another trade, doesn't get any draft capital, then has the nerve to come in my inbox for the CPU teams trying to get draft capital for players that clearly I'm not going to make this trade. So I'm just like, man, you just missed the ball on that. And then
And so
makes a trade that gives away draft capital, which, by the way, I'm going to get into that when we get into it. But anything else left on
that's
this
what I was
Ingram
just going
trade?
to say. Is that he got the future first from me.
Mm-hmm.
Which, if you're trading Ingram away, no matter what Roland says, you don't trade Isaiah Ingram away, the best player on your team, and still be like, oh yeah, we're still trying to be competitive, and then trade Chumlee away and start the 70 overall rookie and be like, oh yeah, we're still trying to be competitive. And since everyone's calling you out on saying that's not very competitive, immediately trade the draft capital you just got for a 30-year-old corner.
Yeah, 31. Which
to double down as I'm not just gonna lay here and die. We're gonna try out, we're gonna go out and do our best. But then not only do they trade Diablo's future first away, they trade their own first round pick this year, which is currently the number 1 overall pick to the Explorers.
Yeah. The first 2 trades, and look, I'm the one who did the cornerback trade with him. My logic behind even letting that go through was I think it was right literally on the edge. I'm talking about hanging on by a fingertip of me saying, okay, this is too much. But then as I looked at it, I'm like, man, this guy already done threw all this stuff out the way. He came to me with this trade. You know what I'm saying? And on top of that, this is a good corner, which I do feel is going to make them competitive defensively. But as you said, he got rid of a veteran quarterback, which if Chumlee was here, I feel like if Chumlee was here right now, and Nyshawn ain't playing all too bad right now, but if Chumlee was with this roster right now, these defensive additions, they would have been competitive. I think they would have been competitive. I'm not saying they would have been able to flip the season around crazy, win a game, but I mean, just that first game alone, I was able to see from Dre Dawkins, I could see elevated the defense a bit. Now you're going to add Rashad Chamberlain to this, which I think, don't sleep on this Dillo's defense at all because they already still got some defensive playmakers on this team. But to not have that veteran quarterback presence, bro, like that's what's crazy.
But Smitty, if you look at the offensive section right there, Nyshawn Miller's only started 1 of these 7 games, and they're the 32nd ranked points per game. If you scroll back up, they're literally the worst offense in the league, and Chumlee started 6 of those games.
Yeah, but if you look at Chumlee, who he actually was playing pretty all right. He threw no interceptions during those games. Like he was managing. The team was obviously missing pieces, but he's with the Bulldogs now. So let's go on the Bulldogs and just check his log. But he actually was not playing bad. They just didn't have they just weren't winning and didn't have the talent. And obviously, they had a really good year, but the talent on paper, we all kind of knew was like for them to repeat this again, I don't know. I mean, look at this with the Dillos. 79, almost 89%, no interception, touchdown. They lose 27-13. Then, boom, lose 21-6, no interceptions, but no touchdowns either, but 82% completion. Only missed 5 passes. And then in the blowout, even no interceptions, a touchdown, almost 75%. Like this guy was producing.
Yeah,
what he could do.
Yeah, I mean, he also wasn't winning games.
I mean, look, then they won a. Hold on, this can't be right. They only won 1 game. Why is there 2 wins here? 3 touchdowns. I don't know. This is getting wonky right here because
I think the 3 touchdown one is when they played the Desperados and got their win.
Okay, But yeah, like even that, like I mean, he was not playing bad, and he has yet to even commit a single turnover. And what really got me with the Bulldogs one was he traded him to
I didn't understand that trade at all.
yeah, he traded him to this team who was struggling. It's almost like the trades he made, he helped everyone else but himself. Like that obviously helped you guys out. Probably just put a Real Bowl trophy in your closet. Then he comes out here, Bulldogs, who was a great team overall with the talent they have, struggling on offense. Tajay Gaddy just not playing well, and the offense has just been one of the worst this season, right? And let's see where they rank. This ain't too bad. I mean, they're 18th in offense, but I mean, if you watch them,
They're bottom half in everything but passing yards,
yeah, they if you watch this
and they're middle of
team,
the pack in that.
they've lost their games because their offense has not been a factor. So, and
I
then
mean,
you
look at that
give them,
defense. They're top five and everything on defense.
yeah, like this right here, they had to win a game against the Marshals where they had what 11 sacks, 11 sacks, and they
Yep.
lost it because their offense couldn't do anything. You know, like this is a team that could be right where those one-loss teams that are in the league right now are, and they're not because of the offense. And you give them that player, but I guess just to skip ahead into the ARC East, what do you think about Coach Bartman not playing Chumlee over Tajay Gaddy? And in a situation where he traded to get this guy, it seemed like, okay, if you're going to make this move, obviously you're going to play him. Your offense hasn't been doing well. And he doesn't get Chumlee. No, he doesn't start Chumlee. He keeps Tajay Gaddy in there. The offense is still struggling with him. What's your thoughts on that?
I mean, I guess it's just his backup plan. He probably had some kind of a record in his mind that he was going to let Tajay play to. Let's say week 10. If Tajay isn't 6-4 by week 10, we go to Chumlee. But just having a better backup option behind Tajay, because Chumlee is better than Timmy Merritt at this point in their careers.
Mm-hmm.
It's probably something like that. Just he's got a set threshold that Tajay needs to meet. If he doesn't meet it, he's going to turn to Chumlee.
Do you feel like he was set? This is obviously our opinion. You're just speculating. And then Bartman, if he's in the chat, which he probably is, can let us know. Do you feel like he was kind of pressured from the community to not play Chumlee when he got him?
I wouldn't say he was pressured. I think what happens to a lot of coaches that especially new coaches, so they make a trade and they see the immediate feedback from people around the league,
Mm.
and that might have influenced him or made him a little biased. But I don't think that themselves stopped him. I think that Tajay was always going to be the guy.
Yeah. Let's get a look at Tajay, man. Just as we're on it, we won't have to cover the Bulldogs when we get to the East, but just looking at his game log, man. Look at this 62%, a good high 60 there, but then 50, got a 70, got an 80, but these are both losses. You know what I'm saying? And it's good 70 right there. Then back in the 50s, of course, that's against the Steamers. Then back up against the Celtic Tigers. But you're looking at this 3-interception game, then you got the 2 interceptions, 1. Then there's the games here. There's 3 games beginning of the season, no touchdown scored through the air. He had the big game and still lost against the Dreadnoughts, and of course that's where he threw his second most interceptions. Then 1-1, and in this game against the Cougars, where if your offense was going right, he was 30 or 37, but I mean, still no finish to the team, right? They just were not finishing drives, and a lot of that has to do with Tajay Gaddy. He hasn't thrown any interceptions the last 3 weeks here. He's looked 2-1-1. That's looking pretty good. But again, they need points, which this honestly isn't bad. I mean, 30 points right there. But we're talking about a Bulls that was hurt, a Bulls team that was hurt, had a key player missing. And then you got 20 against the Steamers, who, and at that point, I mean, this was pretty good, not too bad if you watched it. And then you're going up against, a CT team who's been struggling offensively. Or who's been struggling a bit just all season. So, I don't think that their offensive issues are fixed. But back to Roland, man. Yeah, I don't want to go too long on that with the Bulldogs, but
I don't really have anything else to say. I don't. I mean, obviously, I benefited from it, but like,
yeah,
I don't think he should have made any of the 3 trades that he made.
yeah, yeah. I think that really. And then, if you could real quick look at the draft pick tracker, what are their picks looking like as of right now?
As of right now, let's see. Well, I know they just gave up the first they got from me and their current first. So let's see. Draft pick tracker. Austin Armadillos. Now that they've given up all that stuff, they have for this upcoming draft. They don't have a pick until the 3rd round. They don't have a first or second this year.
Wow, gotta play the bell. That is wow. And you're looking at who they got.
And the 3rd round pick they have isn't even theirs. It's the Cougars. So even if they do finish with a top 5 pick, they're not going to get a top 5 pick in the 3rd round. It's going to be whatever the Cougars is.
And another thing too, man, to even bring up, I would like to even know. I see Roland's in the chat. I do not understand the re-signing of Luis Luciano. It's going to be a 30-year-old tight end. You re-sign this guy back for 4 years, and on top of that, you give him $82 million when you just drafted a stud user tight end who I at least see coming up to the games, upgrading himself, 22 years old at a 77, and you pay over 20 mil a year to a tight end that is aging out. That caught me as well. Like I didn't understand that one.
Yeah, because I mean, another reason he traded me Ingram was because he said, "Oh, I don't, I'm just not going to have the money. He wants too much." But then he pays Louis Luciano, and he's going to have to pay Rashad Chamberlain. So those 2 contracts right there would have been enough for Isaiah Ingram. That's all the money he would have needed.
Yeah. So he
And see,
could have
but
kept
Roland,
him.
what you're saying in chat also hurts is what we're talking about. If Mac Van Ginkel has been tight end 1 the last 5 weeks, why are you paying a 99 overall tight end?
Yeah. That's my thing. Why would you re-sign him? Waste $20 million you could use on the team elsewhere, which you could have kept Isaiah Ingram, because at first you did say that you got rid of Ingram for money. You didn't think you was going to be able to re-sign him and stuff like that, but you gave 20 extra mil to Luis Luciano. Like that's
Now,
man.
I mean, I did sign Ingram to a 3-year extension for 44 mil a year. So he got a huge extension for me, but still half of it is this tight end, and then Chamberlain's half is going to be 20 to 25 mil. So those 2 players again would have paid Ingram.
Yeah. So yeah, we had to get at you Roland on this one, man. It's been going half the season, a lot of crazy stuff going on, and that's what Roland has done up to week 9, ladies and gentlemen. So a lot to talk about there. We'll see how the rest of the season goes for him right now, sitting at 1-6. I don't think it's going to get any better, especially with the rookie out there. They didn't address the offensive line. They have no draft picks to really recoup. No one's going to trade for those older players. Re-signing older guys who are going to be 30. It's a lot going against Austin right now. And so all I got to say is best of luck to you, Roland. And we'll see how you dig yourself out of this one. And if you could get the Dillos back on top, man. Because, I mean, that was a lot. I know I contributed a little bit to it. with Chamberlain. But man, that's something. That is definitely something. Let's go ahead and go back to the standings though. So that's it for the South. Looking at the East, Black Knights, Bulldogs, Bulls, Celtic Tigers. I kind of feel like, which is why it's good we're going through these divisions. We kind of dove into some of these teams, so we're going to start actually probably going through these pretty faster. The Bulldogs, we already talked about their problems with their offense. This is a team I felt should have been winning this division right now. They're 4-4. Offense is killing them. Black Knights wise, I mean, I think they're on par with what we expect them to do. They've had some tough games. Geno Gannon's still balling. And they're leading the East right now. So I mean, this they're kind of picking up where they left off last year and where they should have went last year. They folded in a couple of key games where they were favored to win that kept them out of the playoffs, even with the reigning MVP having his MVP season. And now there's an opportunity for him to at least get him back to the playoffs, where he couldn't last year. Then the Bulls, they start out hot, 3-game losing streak. You can see right here from the different, 3-game losing streak. CT after starting 1-1, 5-game losing streak, and CT's just regressing really bad. Any takeaways or thoughts on the East right now?
I mean, I think my biggest thing is that we said at the beginning of the year that this is going to be the most competitive division in the RFL, but I don't think we meant it like this. Like,
It's competitive, but it's ugly competitive.
It's not good.
Yeah.
So like the Black Knights, if you look at the other divisions, they're the worst in terms of record division leader, and they're only 4-3. They're 1 game above 500.
Mm-hmm.
Every other division has someone who's
5 or more
7-1, 6-1, 5-3. Like every other division's got something, and just this division just has a lot of issues in it.
And they're 0-2 in the division.
Yeah. Their 2 losses were the Bulls and Bulldogs.
Bulldogs undefeated in division right now, 3-0. 0-2 CT. Bulls are 2-1. So yeah.
I mean, I think the way this is shaping up is that Bartman just has to fix the offense, and the Bulldogs should run away with it. Is really all I have to say about the East.
Yeah. I think Black Knights are still in a pretty good spot. That's a really good team that plays better than what you see on paper. And they're just very young and developing and getting better and better every week. So they have
the reigning MVP. I mean,
yeah. And of course, the last division in the ARC, we got the Miners, Bisons, Aviators, and Red Dragons. I think we can definitely talk about all these teams. We kind of talked for the most part about the Miners. So if there's any topic you want to bring up about them, you can. The Bisons are a team that, a lot of hype for them coming into the season. Started out rough, and they flipped it around, man. Interim coach Mack, who could potentially be, coaching this team moving forward next year, has got them sitting at 5-3, tie record with the Miners, only underneath of them because they're head-to-head. They lost that one. And then the Aviators are sitting at a 4-3 record. I expected them to be dead last in this division, but instead of it being them with their rookie quarterback Casey Robinson, who's been playing, as expected. Well, I say above expectations for sure, but doing what if he was excelling at his play, what we expected him to do. The Red Dragons, though, 1-6. I did not see that coming. What do you want to dive into first here when you look at the ARC West, man?
I think it's got to be the Red Dragons.
Yeah.
Just a 1-6 start, and it's what I was saying when we were doing the podcast in the preseason in week 1, is that their defensive line is just terrible.
Let's go ahead and get a look at that. There's the defense. They got an 82 edge. Their edges are good, 80s and above, but after that, I mean, you do have the vet CJ Core, but he's so washed now. Yeah.
And their edges are good, but neither one of them is I would say above average.
Yeah.
Like they're the decent starting edge rushers. Now and one of them's 30.
Yeah.
So like their D line is just kind of there.
Yeah,
And if
that
you
could.
scroll up to their offensive line, they have DeMarcus DeGrate,
Future Hall of Famer for
and
sure.
then just four other guys.
Yeah.
And so this is what I was saying at the beginning of the season is that basically the Red Dragons are built the opposite of how you want a team to be built. It's like they have everything else for the most part, but they don't have anything in the trenches.
Yeah. And the trenches is where you win the games, man. You know, you got to have some kind of dog there. I mean, you're just looking at the talent everywhere else. I mean, look at these three corners. 84 and above, even though, yeah, they're aging and about to be out of here, especially Avante Celestin, 88 speed. You got another one,
Yeah.
86. This is what's killing them, too. I mean, that speed is going to come back to hurt you for sure in coverage. So I mean, their defense really can't do. You can't get it. You can't generate a pass rush. You can't cover. Um, if you're going up against a speedy team, linebacker core looks good, and they're in their prime right now. But
Mhm.
other than that, I mean, this defense is completely shot. Offense, you got Obey Kid, who's a dog. I mean, even Pablo Frederick's making some plays and stuff, but so Anthony Savoy just has not really just for years now. And he's had his up and down moments. Last year, he played pretty good towards the second half of the season. But he's just been that inconsistent, high-rated player in the league. But how can you be too consistent when you got this going on? But I don't think the offense looks all too bad. You got the running back, you got the receivers that can make plays. The line isn't awful. You got literally the one
Like
of the
it's
best, if not the best, tackle in league history. But they're just not getting it done.
the issue with their offensive line is that like the average defensive lineman around the league is like every team has at least one or two 85 plus defensive linemen, and they only have one guy to match that. So if any team has two decent edge rushers, sure, DeMarcus DeGrate gets one, but then who gets the other side? Who's going to block the two D tackles?
Well, when you look at the trenches, what you don't look at is the overall really doesn't mean anything. What
Yeah,
means something is what is their blocking, finesse, power,
and
and
their
all
strength.
that. Because a guy could be like an 85 overall defensive lineman, but he can end up still having 60 power and finesse moves, and these power and finesse moves in the pass game or even the run game is better. So I think he's got three solid offensive linemen here. And let's look at strengths. Strengths aren't terrible. Obviously, DeMarcus DeGrade is the best guy. And these aren't the worst. Then you also got a 77 strength guard here. Now that's crazy, and he's older. So I mean, this is tough.
So even if he's not starting, the who's that at the left guard? Let's see who the Red Dragons have starting at left guard.
Is it Tim Bender?
Well, I'm about to look in the file.
Oh, okay.
Oh, so they are just starting. They are starting a 77 strength guard in the file.
They are starting him. Yeah.
No, they're starting Bender. No, they're starting Bender.
Okay, who's the other guard? Because the other guard's supposed to be the 77 strength guy.
They're starting a 71 overall rookie, Connor Griggs at right guard. So they're
Oh,
starting
so
that
they're
71
putting
overall.
him. Wow.
He's starting at right guard.
Maybe that's happened at this point after going 1-6. I'm not sure if that's something that just happened. But yeah, this is definitely gonna get you killed, man. You're playing a rookie guard who's got some good strength at 90. But man, these 70s, that's not gonna get it done. So I guess he's just trying to focus on Devin at this point. One thing I can say about the Red Dragons though is I think Davis was getting prepared for this because look at his draft capital though. His draft capital is pretty nice. Um,
He does have a lot
a
this
lot
season.
of draft picks that he's got coming up, man. So maybe this was pre-planned. He knew at
Well,
some point they were going to fall off, and boy, they're falling off hard. But
here's
yeah,
the San Diego Dragons.
yeah, I'm pulling them up right now. Um,
San
look at this.
Diego
They
Red
got
Dragons. They have
a
a
first,
first,
three
3 seconds.
seconds, 2/3, 2/4, a six, and 2/7. So how many is this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. The most picks you can have in the league is 12 cap, and he's already almost got that. and he's got 6 picks in the first 3 rounds.
And there's a good chance that he takes 2 of these seconds and a third and moves into the end of the first.
Yeah. So he it's bad now, but I do think I do think he's got a plan. This is the plan. I mean, he's going to recoup.
That also leads to what we were basically saying with Roland, is that this is what Roland should have been doing.
Yeah, I do agree with that.
If you're going to fall to 1-6, you trade away Isaiah Ingram and Chum Lee and the tight end to get 3 seconds, 2 firsts, 3 thirds, like
yeah,
not double down and have no picks, and just hope that Nyshawn can do something for you next year.
Yeah, and again, just looking at the schedule, how it's going, I guess it's nothing really too much. I guess we can say about the Red Dragons. We know what's going on here. Devin is guys using this as a season to just, hey, we gotta get through it, thug it out, and next draft we're going in. So I think that's what's going on right now. So now it makes a little bit more sense when you look at it from that perspective. But no one expected the Red Dragons to be where they are right now in the West. But let's go back to the standings, back into the West. Anything you want to say about the Miners at this point, or
I feel like we very much touched on them.
Yeah, we went over that stuff. Oh yeah, the Bisons and the Aviators definitely are some key guys to talk about. Let's first go look at the Bisons, man. This is a team that had a lot of hype coming into this season. Of course, they had the second best ranked draft coming into this season. And as we look at this schedule, it started out, rough, as they were the favorites to beat. Rodney in his first game in the Monarchs. Didn't happen. It was a close defensive one. Ended up surviving an ugly defensive game against the Sentinels in the rain. I remember that one, 15-13. And then, the division rival Miners, they were expected to lose that one. Miners got it done. And then they hit this 4-game winning streak. And I think so it might have been week 3 that I started letting guys, I can't remember. Yeah. Because,
I think you said week 3 earlier.
Yeah, okay, yeah. Because, so that's when it happened, when Mac took over, and then he hit this 4-game winning streak. And this was pretty impressive because, I mean, the Barons at this point, we're going to get to them when we get to the NRC, but Barons were doing pretty bad, gave them their loss. Then they beat the Explorers. That was a big win. The Red Dragons, I mean, again, we already talked about them. They're doing pretty bad. And then the Pioneers are, right now. So, I mean, obviously, you look at this, and then they just lost to the Hogs. So, what's your thoughts on what they've done so far? When you're looking at this schedule, how impressed are you actually with the Bisons? Do you think that they are going to be able to, compete with this second half of the schedule? I mean, you got the Bulldogs this week. You got the Huskies, the Miners again, Cougars. Rest of these games are pretty good.
I think with where they're at right now, it's like an 8 out of 10. I mean, the big glaring one is that they were able to upset the Explorers.
Yeah,
but I think it's kind of similar to like the Voyagers and the Huskies. Mm-hmm. Is that, I mean, I would say the Bisons were the favorites for the Sentinels, the Barons, the Red Dragons, the Pioneers. Like, they beat teams they were supposed to beat. Mm-hmm. The big thing for the Bisons, though, is they're eerily similar to the Hogs last year, where, like, when you really watch their games, they're winning basically completely on defense, and Joseph Torres is still looking sketchy, because if you scroll at the top, on offense is only 27th in the league. Yeah, they're 27th in points scored, but they're 4th on defense. So all of their defensive stats are top 10. All of their offensive stats are bottom 10.
Yeah.
So they're winning games
for yards. So their 5th ranked defense, but still those points are important too. But like, yeah, that is crazy. I mean, their defense has been amazing. And then of course the run game. You see the run game, so it does kind of point out. And I know Joseph Torres sometimes, I've defended this guy for years. I still don't think he's terrible, like some guys say.
No, I don't.
but is he really the long-term future? You know, that's always been the question mark around him. He's had some solid seasons, right? And of course, he's never really had the help around him. Now he's got the help around him. And with the help around him, he's doing okay. He's doing enough. They're 5-3 right now. I think the second half of this season is really going to tell us what we need to know about, Joseph Torres moving forward.
Yeah, so I think that's just the big thing for the Bisons. If Joseph Torres can turn it on, and he doesn't have to be a top 5, top 10 quarterback. He needs to be a top 20 quarterback. He needs to be good enough to not lose you the game. Yeah. And I think they can get it done. But that, I think that's because that's what held him back against the Hogs. So I think that's their biggest thing is that it's similar to the Hogs where their defense is winning them games, and Torres is just kind of there.
Yeah, how about Bo Sanders, man? I wouldn't look at averages, man. The averages are so high in this league. It's just how this Madden's been playing out. But he's still been beasting with his attempts. And being that same factor he was at Clemson, the dual threat guy. You see, only one touchdown receiving, but over 130 yards receiving out the backfield. He's been eating on screens, getting crucial first downs and stuff like that. So, what's that? Over 800 all-purpose yards and 8 games. So he's averaging 100 yards a game right now with his touches. So I mean, he came in and did exactly what he was expected to do. And the defense is on another level. They figure out this offense, man. They get that going, and mainly, they get Torres going. But again, it's tough to say that because I mean the type of offense that they are. You're Bo first. You know what I'm saying? Like he's getting it done. You're going to run the football more than you're going to look to pass. So when you look at this, I wouldn't say it's all. That's why I would say what I said earlier. Torres is not terrible. He's got to be the game manager like Forbes was talking about. Doesn't have to be the best quarterback. He just got to make the plays when it's the time for them to be made and make the throws. And it's been hit or miss sometimes with him, but I mean 5-3 can't go wrong with that. And the last team to go into are the Aviators, man. I mean 4-3 right now. I didn't expect them to play as good as they are against teams. And look at this. This is the number 1 rushing team in the league. So what I will say is I saw there was a little bit of, I guess, of a challenge on who's the best running duo between you guys with Madison Axel and why am I blanking on the name? Colorado Rivers. But you're looking at this is number 1 running offense in the league, man. That's all they do. So I would probably
in terms of yards, but how many total rushing touchdowns do the two teams have?
Hey man, that is their offense. I feel like you got the league. Obviously, the league's leading rusher and a rookie quarterback in KC Robinson. So obviously, between those two, he's the better scrambler. Obviously, Colorado's the better quarterback. But the way that KC and 2K are working together this season, if we're talking about duos, my opinion, I think that they're the best duo because I mean, that's their identity. You guys get it done through the air and stuff too, but I mean, they are literally. I mean, look at this. They're dead last in passing, dead first in rushing. Does that look familiar?
What I was going to say. If you go to the statistics real quick, because that's my biggest thing with the Aviators and with Casey Robinson, they have a winning record right now, is if you look at it, just through these 7 games, they've already had their bye. They're amazing on the ground. And you look, KC is going to have 1,000 yards on the ground. So
First
they
rookie
can
in
be
RFL history to do that if he does that, which would be amazing.
And so yeah, like in terms of yards, they're the number 1 rushing team. But I'd just like to point out that Axel has 13 touchdowns by himself. That's more than those two combined.
Yeah.
All right, that's all I'm saying. But if you look at this, the biggest thing that they're going to have to do is what you pointed out is that KC is only averaging 150 through the air a game and only has 3 passing touchdowns in 8 weeks.
Yeah. But I think, again, this is where those statistics can be very misleading, right? because if you're watching these Aviator games, let's look at their schedule because again, they haven't played the craziest of comp either, though, at this time. So,
No.
that's another thing. We'll have to see how that goes. Um, the Huskies team got blown out. Dreadnought's team, I did not expect him to win that. But again, what was getting it done? The run game. You can kind of relate this again back to the Bisons, like we were talking about. This is definitely a run first team. And it's almost impossible to stop the run because you got to worry about the quarterback who's really good at running too. And that can turn a pass play into a run play. And it is very hard to contain him. He was just like that in college, and he's doing it here. If he gets his passing game together, that's going to be dangerous. But again, Dreadnoughts at that time had Matt Jones. Not, a game they won that they shouldn't have won on paper. Then they beat the Barons, who they were down 20-10, came back off the crazy run and a couple of good passes, but mainly the run. Then the head-to-head, this is pretty much like a neck-and-neck battle between these two, so that ended up being exactly like what we expected, edging it out 37-34. Then the Bulls beat them. And in this game, obviously, they don't have the guys to really stop the run. They got ran on, and they gave the Miners a run for their money. They really had that league until towards the end. So it's like the way that they operate offensively is definitely run first more than any other team in the league. And I'm just shocked on how it's working for them because now we're starting to see some comp and it's still giving them a hard time. And it's almost as if KC doesn't even have to be, just like Torres, even more so, of a quarterback at all, you know? And that's why I'm kind of shocked with their level of play because I like what I'm seeing from Casey Robinson, where he knows he ain't going to throw the good ball. He doesn't even have good receivers like that. If we look at this depth chart, you got
Man, Cole
Kentaro.
Cruz,
Yeah, Colt's been supposed to be a good receiver out in the field for years and just never really shown up, man. So you got a 89 overall receiver out there for no reason. JF Francis is probably their second best. Their second best wide receiver on quote. Then Zoe Sheffield, I would say, probably is their main guy because of his speed, and so he doesn't even have the weapons out there that's really making plays for him. And it's just been him and Kingston Kinney on offense with a trash line. Well, I'll take that back. The line is not that bad. I mean, they got older guys on here, but they actually got some pretty decent, all 80s and up at least. So, I mean, it's not the worst. It's definitely not the best in the league, but the run game is very effective. And I'm just still shocked to see them at 4-3 right now. And
yeah, I mean,
okay, yeah, you going in on that or?
no, they're definitely shot. I mean, I had them picked last for that division, but
Yeah, and they're pretty close to it still.
Yeah.
So now we get into the NRC. Got the Explorers at 5-2 after starting 4-0. The Barons, after starting 0-4, has won 3 straight and now have a shot to tie it up at 500. And yet the Lumberjacks at 3-5, they've had some tough games. They're keeping their season alive right now within 2. And then the Gunners, their season's starting to kind of get away from them, but Tyon's playing really, really good right now. I guess the only thing we could talk about, Lumberjacks, in my opinion, just had some tough games against some tough opponents. And, it's hard to repeat what you did the year before, especially with a rookie quarterback and guys already got film on them and know how to try to slow them down more. With the Barons, I think they're the biggest team to mention for the North because it was a lot of hype with them. They were undefeated in the preseason, crazy hype coming into the regular season. They go 0-4, and out of that 0-4, their last 2 games were games where this is like, man, y'all should have won those. And then they have tougher games moving forward where we're thinking, oh, season's over for them. And they win. They even beat the Snowhawks, man. So that was impressive. What's your thoughts on the Barons, man? Do you think they can flip the season around? I'm going to say I think they can because if you're looking at this schedule, man, like this is
real
winnable.
light.
Really light, man. Like winnable, tough. It's still tough. Winnable. Winnable right now with how they're looking, but yeah, that couldn't be tough. Uh, Winnable. Again, winnable. Winnable and tough. They can definitely flip their season around right now.
Well, especially with how the NRC is shaping up, is
Mm,
that like you got the clear front runner in each division between the Explorers, Diablos, Steamers, and Condors. All of those teams currently have at least a 2 game lead on the next team in their division, and we're only 8 weeks in.
yeah.
But then you get after that, and the Barons are 3-4, the Lumberjacks are 3-5, the Thunderbirds are 4-4. The Shamrocks are 3-4. The Marshalls are 4-4. The Elks are 4-4. The Snowhawks are 4-3. Like there is no you get the 4 division leaders,
Mm,
and then everything else in the NRC is wide open.
yeah.
So they're 3-4. If they can finish the season 10-7, which means they end the year 7-3, I think they very easily could sneak into the wild card. But yeah, so you look at the top 4 teams, the 4 teams who have 5 wins or more, and then just look how jumbled up from the Snowhawks all the way to the Monarchs is for teams with 3 or 4 wins.
Yeah.
Like
That's
they
big.
very easily 2 weeks from now they could be the projected 7 seed.
Yeah. And with the Desperados not having their 6th their 8th game yet too, they could win and still be within 2
Yeah,
from their
so
losses. So you can even kind of group them in there if they handle their business this week. And this is where the season starts to get away from you when you get that 6. But this is redeemable right now. So like you said, this can go either way. These teams are doing what they got to do. We look at the ARC, it's kind of the same still for them, but they got a lot more teams that are kind of like, oh, your season's getting away from you. And that's the Dillos, Red Dragons, Celtic Tigers right now. Everything else up is actually, hey, you got a shot. The 4-4s, all 500s right here. Hogs just started flipping their season around after being 1-5, 3-5, 3-5 now. So like this midway point of the season is still like so much in the air. Anything can happen, and this has just been an amazing season, man. Let me go back to the division though, and Explorers had a couple of losses, and I think those 2 losses you can put that on the on Daryl Johnson. Honestly, I mean Daryl Johnson just had some mishaps and ended up losing in close moment games, couldn't clutch them out, but he's also had moments where he's clutched out games. So anything you want to say about the Explorers and how they've done so far? I mean, it looks like they haven't really played nobody. They handled business against the Lumberjacks, was a tough one at first, and then they blew them out. They beat the Barons, a division rival. Then they lost to the Barons. Then they lost to the Bisons. Came here, handled business here. Um, I still feel like they definitely got a playoff opportunity because it's not really. They got some tough games. They still got y'all coming up. They got the Snowhawks coming up. The Condors can't be slept on, and the Miners. But everything else, man, definitely in their favor.
yeah, the Explorers just have to worry about, especially now trading away Rashad Chamberlain
Yeah,
is is trying not to have to win every game by a shootout.
yeah,
Because that's what's going to. You can't expect your offense. I mean, they've done it so far, but you can't expect your offense to score 30 points every week. And now their highest overall corner is a 79.
yeah.
So they just have to hope that their defense can be solid enough through the rest of the way to where 25 points is still good enough where they need it to be.
Yeah, and this is where the user rookie is going to have to really step up. You got a 29-year-old cornerback here, and Marquez Reyes is now their top guy. It's definitely going to be CB1, but then you got the rookie, their first-round draft pick in Robinson, and another first-round draft pick in Wiggins. These are 2 active community members. I've seen them in the chat here earlier. This is a big opportunity for you guys to step up and take the lead for the future of this team. So like when guys are granted opportunities like this, you want to take advantage of it. You sleep on it, and it will be taken from you, and won't be, it won't be easy to come back from, or you might not get that opportunity again. So that's a good opportunity for them, but it does hinder this team. We even saw the team overall wise drop down from an 88 on defense down to an 84. So I mean that impacted the defense big time with trading away Chamberlain. But I mean they still got everything else there. So I mean it definitely still a team that can be in the playoffs and nothing to scoff at. Let me see. Talked about the Barons. Anything about Tyon? So Tyon's been balling out of his mind. Just thoughts on him in the right now with the Gunners?
If you go to the Kyon's game log, so like go to him and not the schedule,
Okay.
is that Tyon is getting, if you go look at him, like he's balling out, but that's because they're losing so much every game. He's throwing 35 passes a game. Now he's making the most of his
41, 38, 45, 28, 24, 47, 45. Yeah, he's throwing a lot.
So like they're just having to air now. He you look at the quarterback rating, his stats. Like he's doing a good job because he's being asked to, but he's putting up all of these numbers because they're just down so often that like they can't run the ball. Like he has to throw it.
Yeah.
So like you give, we go to like what's like go to the Lumberjacks. If you're going to give Jordan Granger 38 pass attempts a game, I'm sure he'll put up the same kind of thing. So he's having a great season. I don't want to take anything away from him. But because of the situation that they're in, because they're losing by so much so often, the game script is just him throwing it all the time.
Yeah, definitely not having the same numbers in terms of attempts. He had 49 his first game, but that game went to overtime to have that. Then he got 40. That was his highest without going to overtime. Then here you can see him here low 30s and below.
So
yeah.
So I think Tyon is doing a great job of making the most of his opportunity.
Yeah. All right, so that is it for I think that was the North. And now about your division, man. So we talked about your trade. Thunderbirds are something to talk about. Thoughts on the Tigers. This is kind of running long here, man. We're on like 2 hours. We haven't even gotten to the awards. Just trying to really dive into what's going on so far, guys. So that's why I'm really diving into it because again, I don't know when's the next time we're going to be able to have you, give a podcast to you guys. We haven't even gotten over the predictions on who we think's going to win this upcoming week. But what's your thoughts on your division in the South right now, man? I mean, it definitely looks like you kind of got to hold on it because even though this is 2 game difference in terms of wins, you really got to look at the losses. Because I mean, still, you guys would have to lose 3 more times to be, in a obtainable area for the Thunderbirds to be able to try to pass you. And then the Desperados, they're trying to flip their season around where they pretty much have to win moving forward. And the Tigers, man, just really underperforming. Very unfortunate games, some troubles, injuries with Kai Cash, and just some underperformances as well. So, thoughts on your division?
I don't want to say too much because it is my division. I think the Desperados have been a little underwhelming. They finally, I guess, fell back to earth. They've been outperforming themselves for like 5 years now with that low overall team. So I think they're just having a little come back to earth moment. I'm sure Marquise Washington will right the ship and whatnot.
Yeah.
I think
And
the
a lot of
Tigers
times that they've lost, though, he has been injured. Like, again, the Sentinels game, you add that, they're 3-4 right now, And there was another game where he got injured and he had 1 bad game. So, yeah, they could be still good, but just unfortunate moments for him.
And like the Tigers have the same issue they always have because like the Tigers are a high overall, but I think a lot of that has to do with the Tigers just don't really have any if you just go to their roster, the Tigers roster, is that they just don't have any like game-changing elite players. They're an 87 overall because every single position on the team is an 87. Like they have no holes, but they have like, let's go to this guy. He's going to win us the game kind of player.
Yeah. Yeah, when you look at their receivers, McCaskill, who's a rookie, is the main guy that's really showing out. Then Zan Nasir is, of course, a really good tight end. But Drake Sandstrom's good. But then there's times where he's just not getting the rock. And Kai Cash is having moments.
And it's the same thing on the defense. It's like they have a plethora of slightly above average players, but they don't have any like game-changing, game-wrecking players.
Jocko Goliath definitely one of them.
Other than Jocko Goliath, who I was just about to say, but like even Parker Brockers. Well, even Cordell Brown is still getting into there, but I wouldn't say he's, one of the top 10 safeties in the league.
Let me look at his log, because I feel like people be sleeping on Brown. They wonder why I'm not trying to trade this dude. This guy is literally everywhere. Like, this guy is always making plays. He ain't got no sacks, though, or no picks, but, I mean.
Or interceptions.
Dude is literally everywhere. Where's it? Oh, yeah, I forgot they don't do tackles right on here.
Oh, yeah, they only show
solos. But yeah, he's just always everywhere on the field, man. So he's a playmaker.
The Tigers is that like they're a high overall because they don't have any holes, but they don't have the guy that you say, hey, go win me the game. Like, hey, and the issue is that because the only player they really have who's like that is a middle linebacker. All we have to do is not throw at him or not run at him.
Yeah, and the defense is, I almost feel like the defense, and they were not good at the pass last year. They were dead last, and they're almost there again. And that's after getting Parker Brockers. So, I mean, I just feel like after Parker Brockers, the rest kind of, they still can get aired out on. Teams are taking advantage of that. And like I said, the next guy will be Blunt. He's had some weeks where he was out off of injury. So when you get rid of Blunt, I mean, look at these corners. They're getting fried, And so, yeah, I definitely see that that's what's killing them. And then dead last in the run game, but this is a really good running back stable. I mean, Sandstrom is a beast, man. But he's not getting the attempts like he should. They're passing a lot, which is why the only reason I feel like this offense is even 13th passing is because they're passing so much. I think they need to find a way to balance this. Again, it's hard to do, but they've got to figure something out because it just hasn't been working. And it's because they're not running the ball. And I think that's a big factor in it too. Yeah, it's just they got to get that consistency going for the offense to be able to score. And I think with that happening, on top of their secondary being, kind of still a weak point, they're not helping out their defense at all. Their defense has some good moments, a lot of good moments and good stops, but the offense just never seems to help.
Yeah.
And thoughts on the Thunderbirds right now? They had a couple losses where it's just like, they should have had that.
Well, I think the biggest thing with the Thunderbirds, if you actually go back to that page, back to the standings page, and you go to the division, look at the Thunderbirds. If you look at the all the way to the right, where you look at point differential, the issue is that their defense. If you look at the points for, points against, they're equal. Like LC3 is having an amazing career resurgence type of season after struggling last year, but now their defense, no matter how good it is, can't stop anything.
Yeah, which has never been heard of up to this point for the T-Birds, so that's a big difference. I mean, yeah, look at this. This is almost like how it's been in the past reversed. Number one, they actually have the number one offense in the league. Number one offense, 2 passing, middle of the pack, running a little bit past that. 8th
they have the
points.
Number one offense in the league, and they're 4-4.
Yeah, and then you're looking at the defense. Like, how is 20s even mentioned when you talk about the Thunderbirds, right? I mean, 25th in points, giving up 27th as a defense, which is terrible. 24th against the pass, 27th against the run. The defense is definitely the problem for the Thunderbirds, and they've got talent on that side of the ball. New news that should be breaking. I know if you're part of a Discord, some of this news has been releasing late, but they did just recently make a trade for a better cornerback. And so if you look at the cornerback room, was kind of killing them a bit. Alex Moricola, the old vet who's been there since season 2 when the expansion of the Thunderbirds first even happened. After 9 years, he's shipped off to another team, and he's being replaced by an 87 overall corner from the Bulls and Tavares Golston. And Golston used to play for the Gunners. Was DB of the year at forgot which season, but really good cornerback. He's 32 years old, so just a year younger. And the Thunderbirds gave up a first-round draft pick. So we'll see if that helps them out with the secondary. But again, what does this got to do with the run? You know, because their pass game is actually still slightly better than their run game. They have not been able to stop the run game at all like that this year. And that's their problem. And then we get into the rest of the standings here after the South. We have the East, which is a pretty interesting.
You don't want to talk about my team? Just skip over me.
I thought that's why I thought we went over your team. We pretty much went over it, yeah. Because I mean, we talked about Angram.
I guess trade.
Yeah, we talked about the trade and all that.
We didn't talk about how Axel was just everyone's butt.
You definitely went over that because we were talking about how he had over 1,000 yards and more touchdowns than KC and 2K. So we definitely, I think, recapped. I'd say your team. Is there anything you feel we left out right now for your team?
No, I was just.
Yeah. So I think we recapped this out for me. Everyone already knows you guys are front runner. East, NRC East, man. Steamers. Jones is back. The Steamers are back.
That's the biggest difference.
Huh?
And that's the biggest difference from last year to this year is that Justin Jones is back for the Steamers.
Yeah, he's doing his thing. Obviously, I must have sucked for him, but the Marshals, I feel like there's something to talk about with them. Is they having a Darius, I like the confidence and everything about him. And stay like that, man. But I do feel like he's definitely had a coming to earth moment because dude was riding high off that second half of that season. He came in coaching, flipped that whole season around, had an 8-3 record. I'm like, all right, man. Next season, I don't think it's gonna be as sweet. Here he is at 4-4. He's had given some good fights though to teams. It's not like he's gotten blown out by anybody, but 4-4. Still trying to challenge the Steamers, and the Steamers, man, right now they're making it look easy, man. Only loss was to you guys, which are the front runners, and they were close to y'all with a 37-30 victory that you guys were able to get. And then we just seen the Shamrocks and the Monarchs kind of flip their seasons around. They still have a season to try to make a case for the playoffs. So everyone's still competitive right now in the East, but this looks like a clear runway for the Steamers.
Yeah, I mean, there's not much to say in this one. Just the Steamers are just. We were saying it all season, whether Hodge liked it or not. The Steamers were the best team in this division.
Yeah,
just by far. And they're like I said, the only loss was in week 3 to me, but other than that, I'm not really here. Click on them and go to their schedule. I think it's kind of like the Huskies, where like they've just been dominating the Steamers.
Yeah.
Like I don't really feel like they're
saying, click on your profile like you did.
He wanted you to go to the Steamers page because we went to everyone else's.
Oh, he wanted to. Oh, I would say my profile. I think everybody see my PFP swagged out with that coat, but yeah,
their schedule.
Schedule.
And like it's just like the Huskies, like they're not messing around. If they're supposed to beat you, they're just beating you.
These are tough teams too, man. I mean, DC's tough.
Yeah.
Portland's tough. Got the dub. Of course, but still again competitive. BCT was down. They've been competitive in games, but again, beating them. Beat a division opponent, look at 41-3. Jeez. Another division rival, but at the same time, I mean, these guys it's a big gap in that division. And then beat the Bulldogs, despite the offensive troubles. I mean, still, this is a really good team to beat, and even the Black Knights. So like, they're doing really good against good comp, dominating the weaker comp, and they got winnable game for sure here. Winnable game. T-Birds aren't looking the same right now. Got a chance to sweep the Marshals, to make Darius not sleep for a week or the rest of the year straight. You got the Bulls. You got I mean, it's winnable. I mean, these
I
guys
think
can really win out.
Yeah, I mean, really outside of the Marshals and Thunderbirds in the next 3 weeks, there's no reason I think they shouldn't win out.
Yeah. Yeah. So let's go look at DC, because I think we've went through everything we needed to about the Steamers. I mean, it's just clear that they're running with this. This kind of catches me off though. They might be 22nd in defense, 21st in defense, but I mean, look at those points. Second best
Yep.
and least amount of points given up. I almost feel like defense should go off the points you allow, but
Well,
it doesn't.
it usually goes off of
Yards.
offense and defense. Usually goes off of points. If you say someone's the number one offense, it's because they scored the most points.
Well, no, they actually go off of yards. So your defense
I
is
know they
going to.
do. I know they do in Madden, but like in like the NFL and stuff, when usually they talk about like the number one offense is the team that scores the most points.
They do. I
Yeah.
never heard them refer to like say anything like that at all. To be honest, in NFL, so I don't really know that. I just went off of what the game was, but I
Yeah.
always
Now,
thought it
if you
was
go to the
yards
game,
because other football games kind of did the same thing. So I don't know, but yeah, this can be misleading if you're going off of yards if you see these points. So they're definitely they're definitely the definition of bending and not breaking. Um, and that's what makes them tough to beat. I mean, look at this. They can get passed on. I'd say about 20 of these rankings is because of John Gibson. Um, then the rush game is crazy with Amir Williams. About middle of the pack. He's really starting to come on. After the first couple of weeks, kind of was slow, but then really going crazy. And the offense continuing to be a top tier offense. I mean, top 10 literally everywhere except for the run game. But the run game is. Oh, I was looking at the wrong side. But yeah, the run game is still on near top 10. So, and then we get a look at DC. We talked about Hodge here, and this a look at how competitive he's still been despite the losses. Lost to the Steamers at first. He's real high about that. Beat down the Crusaders. Came back in a gruesome battle against the Bulldogs after getting sacked those 11 times. Talked about that earlier. Uh, Almost had a comeback loss with the Shamrock coming back, but then the Gunners upset them big time, 31-20 in that one. And we saw the Miners get the best of them. Came back, bounced back. It was a tough game against the Celtic Tigers, and then of course you guys handled them. Was able to come back and get that victory yourselves as he was doing good there. So I mean, looking at DC, winnable game, going to be tough. Going to be tough. Winnable game. Winnable game. Going to be tough. Uh, I say winnable game. Winnable game. Winnable game. So again, this is looking like a playoff caliber team still for me. But I do still feel like Darius, as he's come down to earth a little bit. And when you look at this defense, I mean, again, top 10 in points allowed, around that 20 mark, just like the Steamers were when it comes to those yards. And then 17th in both run and pass. The offense has kind of been, they're almost dead last, though. The run game, which was a huge factor for them, is now, kind of being pushed back, heavy passing attack. And so their offense, I think, is the area where, when you play them, if you can limit them, you can kind of get them in a Bulldog situation and beat them. So that's where they're lacking at right now. No other
yeah.
team, I think. Let's talk about Rodney. We can talk about Rodney a little bit here, man, because he may be 3-5, But how close was this guy from being 5-2 right now? You know, he should have beat the Thunderbirds, should have beat the Black
He should
Knights.
be the Bulldogs.
Yeah, and he got beat down by the Barons, which which flipped the season for the Barons. Then the Steamers did their thing, then beat down the Bulls, and then they got a beat down. But how do you
Yeah,
feel about Rodney and how he's doing his first year?
I think Roddy's doing a fine job. I mean,
Yeah.
he's leading a top 5 offense.
Oh
Just
yeah.
the defense doesn't have anything going on with it.
Number one pass offense right now.
Yeah.
Number
They're
two behind the Thunderbirds.
basically the Armadillos from last year who had the number 1 pass offense but the 32nd ranked rush offense. But I mean, I think he's doing a fine job. I mean, he's doing with what he's got.
Yeah.
The Monarchs and the Aviators are probably the 2 teams that lack the most talent around the league. You know, so to be that close to the Black Knights, to be that close to the Thunderbirds, 2 games they should have won. So I mean, I think he's gonna just keep his head up and just keep getting through the season. No one really expected him to make the playoffs this year anyway.
Yeah,
But
it was high.
this is
There he is.
oh,
Didn't have a come down to earth moment. I think you did, man. You know what I mean? Like, you gonna be confident, obviously, but you know you ain't going in them games like you was at the start of the season. Talk about, oh yeah, I'm about to beat. Because if you was, I wouldn't have won them $20. but no, but for real though, like you know it's not just something you gonna come in here and you can know everything you can know about the game plan and all this. It's not easy to get a win. Those wins have got to be earned in RFL. That's all I'm saying. And I'm of course you know that, but I also do feel like you was like, okay, this ain't like last year. That's what I mean. You know it's a big difference from last year. That's kind of what I mean by it.
Let's get to this last division.
Yeah, because boy, this has been a lot. But hey, want to make sure we get into everything with you guys. Uh, yeah,
The NRC
the
West.
West. So how about the Condors? Snowhawks, man, right now losing a little bit of grip. But we know this team's talented. They can get right back. They're still within the game of the Condors, and they play each other this week. That's going to be fire. And then the Elks and the Crusaders. Crusaders, really, honestly, there's nothing to say too much about them. They saved their season with a win this past week, I think. And they honestly could be 4-4, if not 5-3 right now. So they are a good. Every team in here is competitive for sure. The Elks are performing better than I expected. Jacob McCall is doing a great job, protecting the football, making things happen. And the Snowhawks, again, they had a couple games get away from them, let the Barons punch on them just recently, but I don't feel like that's something we can expect to see often. And then the reigning champs, man, showing like don't sleep on the Condors, dude. I didn't expect them to come back this season and still be where they are right now and look the way they've looked right now. Even beat the Huskies, the only team to beat them right now so far this season. So, what's your thoughts on all that in any of these teams right now in the division? Oh, by the way, one more. I'm gonna see if this got announced. So I will make one more announcement.
Oh
This
yes.
the Snowhawks just got a huge addition to their team on defense as they made a trade for Bulls defensive tackle Derek Herrera, who was a 91 overall D tackle. He's 30 years old though, but I mean that is going to make this defensive line OD now. But they also gave away one of their aging defensive tackles, who's 30 as well, right here, Lewis Griffith. But he was a 78, and they gave up a second-round draft pick and a fourth-round draft pick to acquire him. And the reason they did that is because they've got so much youth and talent that they honestly needed to get away some draft picks. So they were able to unload it, get it to a team that needed it, no team that's OD, and they got a key piece that could help them win their first Reload Bowl this year. So that's a huge addition for the Snowhawks moving forward.
Yeah, especially with already having Randall Sylvester and Elijah Walker on that D line.
Mm-hmm.
Adding that third piece in the middle is going to be huge for them.
Yeah. Look at that. Sylvester, 91. 23-year-old Elijah Walker, 88. Kevin Fry, 84. There's going to be a 91 D tackle right now with that. A user D tackle in Cam Perkins was 23. That's a 79. OD. Like the whole front four is going to be a problem. Their linebackers are already a problem. They're 20. Nobody's 24 years or older at the linebacker position, which is crazy. And these guys are stacked. You got Khalil who just got re-signed. Josh Hardy's about to get his money. Paul Boss, who's coming a beast rookie, now in his second year, already about to touch 80, and good backups, good developing backups who's got years. So this team is just stacked, which is why giving away the draft picks wasn't a problem. Their cornerbacks is crazy, safeties is crazy, everything's crazy. That was a big move for them to make. But right now, second in their division. Oh yeah, you was about to go into stuff before I went into that, but what's your thoughts on the West?
That was it. I actually think this is the conference I have the least to talk about.
Yeah.
I mean, the Condors, like it's a shock, but they did just win the Reload Bowl. You just went over the Snowhawks. The Crusaders are just kind of crusadering. This is what they do every season. You always feel like the Crusaders should be better, and then they just aren't. And then the Elks, they're 4-4. McCall's looking good, not looking way better than he did last year. And showed enough through those first 5 or 6 weeks to be the guy of the future.
Yeah. And with that being said, we've covered everything right there. Statistically, dove into each team, the crazy topics and stuff we were talking about. Is there anything potentially we missed? I don't think we did. I think we touched on every team as much as we should have. I think we hit every trade.
Let me double check the trade thing real quick just to make sure.
Yeah, I think we hit every trade. So we might actually be good guys and finally dove into every team up to this point of the season.
We missed the Marshalls getting Amari Manuel from the Barons.
Oh yeah, Amari Manuel and the Barons. Yeah, that's another one.
So he's on the Marshalls. If you want to go on him real quick.
And they traded away Kai Cash.
They did not trade away Kai Cash.
I mean, not Kai. I mean, Kai. What's his name? Kai Sean. Yeah, what the heck was I thinking? But yeah. But both of these guys on their new teams has been snapping.
Yeah, Manuel, as Hodges pointed out, has scored a touchdown in every game as a Marshall so far.
Yeah, and I think he re-signed Manuel too immediately. So this is going to be a guy who's going to be on the squad till he's like 30, 31 or something like that. You can see this crazy speed.
But this is the only speed.
Yeah. And then just to go look at okay, we can look at his game log real fast.
Game log, yeah.
His last couple game logs. He hasn't had a game over 100 yards yet. I think he's had one with the Barons. It's just not showing up. But he's been scoring. He's definitely been scoring with the Marshalls. And then when we go look at the Barons, Kai Sean, his first game with the Barons, man, they put in work. Let me see. Yeah. He put in work. I mean, very young receiving core. I mean, look at this. Juan Chaney's a vet. He's the highest overall, but he's not starting. They've got Marcus Young, who's an 81-24. Kai Sean Williams now, 78-23, user player. And Talon Ross, who's a rookie, who's really starting to, have his moments now and getting used to the league. He scored his first touchdown. His first touchdown in the league was a kick return touchdown, which was amazing. And he was able to also score his first receiving touchdown against the Snowhawks. So, I mean, he's definitely starting to come into his own. We get a look at Kai Sean here, though. And There you go. With the Barons, this was accurate. Even though the week is off, he had 139 receiving yards and a touchdown. So I'm not sure what's going on with these stats when the dudes get traded. So I'm gonna leave that alone. But yeah, both those receivers doing really good on their respective teams. So that trade really looked good for both squads. But yeah, I think that is it in terms of the uh, deep dives. So now it's time to go into the awards. And as we talk about awards, I kind of let me see. I didn't have those loaded up, Forbes. It was so much and they weren't titled. So it's like
Oh,
yeah, so when I try to download and put them up, they weren't coming up right for me. Let me see if I can do something else though. Is there
you
a
want me
way?
to go rename them real quick, or
No, it's good. I think I can actually make them icons. So let me see, because they're only showing up as text. That's what it is. Oh, I'm still not gonna be able to read that. All right. Let me see if I can make these bigger. Uh, okay. Okay. Yeah. Here I can do it. Let's start in the ARC. We're gonna do the offensive player of the year right now. What that's looking like for the ARC. And here we go. All right. So we have Calvin Poole currently leading. Well, actually, not offensive player of the year, quarterback of the year. My bad. Best
Quarterback of the year?
quarterback is Calvin Poole right now, and we talked about his statistics. Having is this showing up or not?
What? Yeah, I can see
Okay,
it.
okay, yeah, it's showing up. So Calvin Poole, the 21 touchdowns to just 2 interceptions, and those 2 interceptions coming in one game. So this dude's been locked in. His third year in the RFL, already living up to the hype that was around him from when he got drafted out of USC. Having a phenomenal year, and look who's behind him. We got Monte Wyatt, Geno Gannon still trying in the mix. You got DWJ, Miles McCain up there, top five for the ARC. Javier Santana, Justin Jones, uh, not Jakari Torres, Joseph Torres, Lane Kearney, and Tajay Gaddy. Lane Kearney could have probably been up higher up there if he was starting at the beginning of the season. Now
I
think
played those
about it.
first 2 games.
Yeah, but no shock there. I think we could kind of run through these. If you have anything to say, I'll just ask you, Forbes. But I'm
Right?
not shocked with Calvin Poole with the way he's been playing this season, man.
Not
Dude's
at
been
all.
looking phenomenal. Yeah. So nothing to say there, but that's your leader right now for quarterback of the year. Let's get a look at. Yeah, these are out of order too. I don't know why they're doing this. Let me see if I can find a running back real fast. Um, Okay, ARC running back of the year. Make sure this is correct. All right, I'm gonna just click this. I think this is it. Nope,
Yep, that's
offensive
it.
player of the year. But offensive player of the year is Corey Leonidas right now from the Huskies. So this explosive offense may not be first in terms of the yards like the Thunderbirds and stuff like that, but they put up, I think, the most points out of anybody, or at least up there
Yeah.
with 33 a game. So Leonidas has been phenomenal in the ARC, leading in that, and the Calvin Poole obviously behind him. Got Jacob Haynes from the Hogs, a little shocked there. He's been looking really good. Monte Wyatt, Farrell Rains, Geno Gannon again, Rashawn Hale, Bo Sanders, the rookies in the mix. Uh, Cam Perkins and Zach Tank, the rookie out of Florida for the Pioneers. Thoughts on Leonidas right now in the ARC? Shock there? Or?
Um, I think it should be Poole. Leonidas
Yeah,
has been good, but Poole is that offense really.
yeah. I agree.
I mean, I'm sure that Haynes is all the way at 3.
Yeah, I am shocked at that. Haynes, I'd put Wyatt over him. Um, I didn't put Geno over him. The
Yeah.
quarterback should be up higher, but I do know that they value this award a little bit more towards uh, away from quarterbacks. They still throw them in the
Yeah.
mix, but they try to give it to like other skill positions. So, yeah. Now for the running back of the year, to make sure I got this right now, it is Corey Leonidas, and behind him you got the rookie Zach Tank. That's huge. Rookie in the
So,
mix.
like,
Mhm.
how is Zach Tank 10th for Offensive Player of the Year? And Jacob Haynes is 3rd, but then Zach Tank jumps all the way up to 2 for running back.
Yeah, that's yeah. I hopefully they balance that out a little bit more. I think as the season goes, they will. Maybe it's because Haynes does more as a receiver too. I think
Okay.
that's a part of the reason. Because he is definitely a threat off them screens. I think that's the reason why. And then Bo Sanders is in the mix there for best running back. So we got 2 rookies in the top 5 for the award right now. So that's big. Cam Perkins at 5, Steve Washington 6, Damani Manuel, Levi Dixon, Kingston Kinney, and Darnell Hodge. That's your running backs of the year right now in the ARC. Um,
Receiver?
am I shocked about Leonidas?
No, not as of right now.
Yeah, right now,
All
not really.
the all the top running backs right now are in the NRC.
Yeah,
So
yeah. And we have the receivers of the year right now. Farrell Reigns, second. So this is a guy who could win his first receiver of the year. He's been a dog wide receiver in the league for years, though. Not gonna lie. And right now he's got an opportunity to capitalize on this award. But another guy who's been kind of slept on, um, who's had a name, a bit of buzz around him since college, Rashawn Hale out of Arizona State. He's making some big plays for the Hogs. They're second, so it's a battle between him. Keith Guyton's still in the mix, man. His 10th season, still showing you he's a dog. Jackson Hunter, who Forbes mentioned earlier, these receivers are really eating, man. Cam Rucks from CT, you got Isaiah Streets, Buck Ulbrich, uh, Cam Jones.
yeah,
Then we got Joe Johnson. I thought it was John Johnson first. But that's Joe Johnson because it's from the Dreadnoughts. And then this guy came out of nowhere. This Chris Estrada guy. His overall is not even high. He's like a 72 overall, but he's been making a
yeah, he's
ton of plays for the Sentinels this year, man. Shocked to see Farrell Reigns up here though, man. What's your thought?
yeah. I mean, this award. I mean, when you look at the other names on the list, where this used to be a 3-man race every year between Matt Niani, um, Keith Guyton, and Cam Jones.
Mm-hmm.
So to see Matt Niani not even on here, to see Cam Jones all the way down at 8, you can just tell that these guys are aging out, and it's good to see these youthful names up in here.
Yeah. All right, so I don't have tight end of the year awards on here, so nothing there for that. Offensive line, we're skipping that because they literally legit have it broken in the game right now and just using long snappers. I don't know how that's even still a thing after how long this game's been out. Then we got D linemen. So we're gonna go over the rookies, man, because I know everybody's excited to see who's leading them for offensive and defensive rookie of the years in their respective conferences. But the line for the ARC is Jermaine Taylor, the Bulldogs, man. And another Bulldog right behind him who's won this award before, Drew Brewer. Yeah, Michael Pratt of the Huskies, Sam Robbins from the Bulls. I think he just recently got injured. The rookie Sina Anawai, who's having a phenomenal season for the Huskies there. We got Jason Henderson from the Voyagers, Nathan Schmidt, longtime explorer now with the Huskies too. That's 3 Huskies on that board. That's crazy. Nakui Choice from the Bulls. Uh, Russell Shackelford, rookie from the Bulldogs there, and the linebacker of the year from last season, Jesse Newhouser. Now they've got him in the right spot as best D lineman since he's now an edge guy. Well, been an edge guy, but they got the awards right. But yeah, for the Pioneers, best D lineman at 10. Not shocked here. Jermaine Taylor's been beasting. He's leading the league in sacks with 15. So dude's a dog. That's all I could say. Um, and the Bulldog is looking to add some hardware to his to his collection. Anything you want to say on the defensive lineman of the year?
No shocker there.
Yeah. D-line. And then we got linebacker of the year for the ARC, and that is AJ Pestock of the Huskies. Even calling this guy's game yesterday, dude's a beast. All right. AJ Pestock is just everywhere, man. Old vet, 30 plus, but he's just making all the plays, forcing fumbles, making all the tackles. So it's actually pretty cool to see him up here leading for this award. I'm not sure if he's ever won one. He might have though, but I just can't remember off the top of my head. Tank Frost continues to be exactly his name, a tank for the Black Knights. He's there at second. We got Baltus for the uh Baltus. I'm
Pioneers.
not sure if I'm saying that right, but for the Pioneers, Pat Forney, former Florida Gator guy in the college series. A generic guy too, man. He's been making some big plays for the Dreadnoughts. Then we got Jared Higgins. Um, I'm not sure if his name is Jared. I might have messed that up. But Higgins for the Red Dragons. Got Bobby Boucher for the Red Dragons. Matt Reynolds for the Pioneers. He's been a beast. Uh, Javon Payne for the Bisons. Ricky Tootley, Dreadnoughts. And Kennard Rodan with the Sentinels there, top 10 breaking. It's cool to see that they actually got true linebackers too on these awards now. So like I remember before they used to have pretty much edge rushers on here, and that's where you saw like Jesse Newhouser and stuff like that. And now we're really seeing those off-ball linebackers get a chance to win an award. So that's dope. Thought
Yeah, I mean, no
thought
shocker. I think
yeah.
AJ Pestock has been the best coverage linebacker
Oh yeah.
so far.
And then we get the best DB in the ARC. And that, let me see. That currently is Xavier Eves of the Pioneers. Look at that, 2 Pioneers. You even got James Harrell right underneath. Vinny Ball, the rookie for the Bisons, at 3. Then we got Blueberry Hill
Blueberry
of the
Hill.
Sentinels. AG3 of the Pioneers. Antonio Gomez, the 3rd. Trey Sinclair, the Dreadnoughts. Devontae Freezer, the rookie from Alabama with the Cougars. Marvin Heaney with the Armadillos. And we also have Shaquille Tiller, the Bulldogs, and Sean Abrams, who's been having a phenomenal season for the Voyagers. So it's cool to see Xavier Eves. He's never won this award before. He was definitely one of the best. He was the best overall rated cornerback coming out of his draft class. And I mean, he's beasting right now for the Pioneers, hoping to get them to their first playoff showing. But thoughts on this list?
Not really. I mean, it's good to see Xavier Eves finally get into these conversations.
Yeah, he was in it the last couple of seasons, but it's just like he was always like sitting somewhere on like 4, 5, 6, something like that. Yeah, it's good to see he's got a shot, man, to take that award home for the ARC. We're not going to go over the kickers either, so I think that ends at best DBs, right? I might be
Um,
mistaken.
yeah, you just have defensive player of the year and then the 2 rookies.
Yeah, and so here we go, defensive player of the year, Jermaine Taylor, obviously, as he was also the D lineman of the year, who at more than likely takes home that award most of the time anyway. And this is pretty much looking the exact same. I think that is almost nearly the exact same lineup.
It's nearly the
It's just
exact same.
just a switch of a few names. So not going to go through that. Not shocked there. But now let's go ahead and get a look at what you guys been waiting for. Where do the rookies stack? Because we know heavy XP is involved in this. So starting in the ARC, offensive rookie of the year. Who leads it? I would sit there and ask guys like who you guys think in the chat, but we ran through a lot of time so far. So just going to get into it. Bo Sanders right now is leading for Offensive Rookie of the Year in the ARC, followed by Zach Tank, Casey Robinson, Arturo Flores, Trayvon Simpson Jr., Mamadou Sanyalo. Uh, why am I thinking? Keep saying Drew Lewis. That ain't no Drew Lewis. Dylan
It's
Lewis.
Dylan.
Yeah, Dylan Lewis. Here's a name I think guys forgot about after he had a rough senior season, but Matty King from Miami there is in the conversation. Mac Van Ginkel at 9 and Shady Houston at 10. So those are your ARC offensive rookies of the year. We kind of predicted that Bo would be that guy, and there he is, leading the charge. You think he holds on to it? I do feel like he's kind of got to run for his money if KC gets his passing together, and Zach Tank, who's been a beast as well. I think those are the only two guys who really got a good shot at challenging him.
You don't think if Dylan Lewis can start being more consistent as a quarterback, he can't come up and challenge?
I mean, obviously, yeah, but do I feel like he's more likely to do that than those other two guys I mentioned? With KC, what he's got going for himself is the fact that he's leading in rushing literally the whole league. You know what I'm
His
saying?
rushing yards are really big for him.
Yeah, so and he's going to have those rushing touchdowns on top of that. Dylan Lewis can rush, but he's not going to do it as much as KC. And with them being rookies, uh, I feel like KC is just going to stay slightly ahead of him in that regard and have more chances offensively to do things. And then for Zach Tank, with both these running backs, really, man, running backs are just going crazy this year. So I feel like Zach Tank, man, he doesn't even touch the ball near as much as Bo, and every time he touches the ball, he's like cribbing it almost and hard to take down. So there's a shot. It could be Zach or Bo, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, I think it ends up being one of the two running backs.
Yeah. So shout out to Zach, man. He giving Bo a run for his money. And for defensive rookie of the year, it is currently Sina Anuai leads all rookies in sacks over 10. So yeah, he leads there. Then Russell Shackelford behind him. Then we got Will Woolfolk, Ethan Marks. Uh, that's DeMarcus Woolfolk. I think it's DeMarcus Woolfolk. Manny Rojas got Devontae Freezer, Vinny Ball, Wyatt Harris, and Roman Wilson. Not Roman Wilson. Randy Wilson.
Randy Wilson.
He's shocked here. I mean, from our prediction, we did predict Wyatt Harris was going to be the
Yes,
guy for
I
this.
was gonna say that's that has to be the biggest one. Is that I mean he makes the list, but he's all the way down at 9
Yeah,
as the number one overall pick.
yeah. He's definitely making plays, But man, Cena has been going crazy. We even just from what we saw in his game yesterday, and this guy is a huge problem. He's jumped in overall big time too. I think he's jumped all the way now up to a 83. This guy came in what, a 76, 75?
Something
So
like that.
so he's jumped tremendously because he's just setting goals so fast. And yeah, on a team that's already stacked, so he's
Now,
making plays.
yeah, now because I mean, if I'm looking at Wyatt Harris, only has 3.5 sacks so far in the season.
Yeah. So teams have done a good job of avoiding him, I guess you could say, or holding him up enough for getting rid of that ball. And now we're going to go into the NRC side of things. Um,
With quarterback.
yeah, I'm trying to make sure I don't do the wrong one. Okay, I think this. Yeah, I'm going to click the wrong. But yeah, here we go. Okay, NRC best quarterback Chase McCoy is leading in the NRC. Uh, And what's really helping him out, man, is the rushing touchdowns. He's got 8 rushing touchdowns to lead all quarterbacks and 13 passes. So he's going crazy, reigning champion. Um, and then we got Reed Wagner at second. So he's still in those combos. He's won quarterback, many quarterback awards before. You got Preston Schrader, Tyon Nickerson there at 4 in the NRC. We got Daryl Johnson at 5, Marquise Washington 6, LC3, who we thought would be up there now at 7. We got Jacob McCall at 8, Jordan Granger at 9, and Tom Wilson at 10. I'll say I'm shocked to see McCoy up here, man. I'm just shocked about the rushing touchdowns he's been able to get. I mean, I know he came in a scrambler. He was known for that first coming in the league, but he really changed the narrative of the type of quarterback he was for a long period of time. After like his third season in the league, he was more like staying in the pocket, dotting you up, and now it's like he can do both, and so he's really scary right now. Um, any thoughts on who you thought would be best quarterback up to this point?
I thought it would have been Wagner or Schroeder.
Yeah.
I mean, McCoy's up there because I think I remember one game where three of his rushing touchdowns were like quarterback sneaks in the same game.
Yeah, but he's definitely had. I think he's had more scrambles. I mean, that's still out of 8.
But he
You know.
has. Yeah, I was just talking about earlier in the season
Mm-hmm.
when those were happening. But so the scrambling's definitely helping him. But I think it should be probably Wagner right now.
Yeah. Okay. So quarterback. Let's get running back. Obviously, we know this one. Uh. uh Best running back, obviously Madison Axel, followed by another running back that's going crazy, and Kenny Steele. And another all the running back going crazy in NRC. But Mira
Yeah.
Williams at 3. Bradley Atagwe has been going crazy. Jacob McDonald, Marlon Marshall, Drew Brewer. You got Saeed Gore, Darius Martin, old vet, and Tavion Hall. I'm shocked to see Tavion Hall, man, down there and having the season he's been having. Honestly, he's doing pretty good, but he's not scoring the touchdowns, and that's his problem. Axel's definitely getting those TDs though, and it's really been a battle between mainly him and Steele. But I feel like, of course, with the talent you guys got, in the way he's been running away with things, right now he's sitting pretty nice to win that. But the only guy who can really threaten him, I think, at this point, even though Amir is going crazy too, is Steele.
Yeah, I think right now it's those two.
And then we get a look at the NRC wide receiver of the year leader. Let me see, can I find it? Here we go. Montrell Lansana, the old vet, man. This guy is old, but balling. Leading for best receiver, leads the league in receiving yards and everything. Dude's eating. And we have Devin Dean of the Condors, who's been going off. Obviously, everyone on there has been going off. JJ Vaughn, you got Jake Pride, both of the Steamers. Calvin Martin, another Monarch wide receiver. Luis Cardenas of the Elks, been going crazy. John Johnson right there from the Lumberjacks. And you got Caleb Houston, who was really a big time front runner for the wide receiver. He was killing, leading the league by like 200 yards at one point, but they had a bye week and everything, so he's kind of come down. Then you had Dior Gore, rookie wide receiver there at 9, and Q-Pop, Aquavius Machiavelli at 10. I think this is a big shock. I don't think anybody came into the season and thought Montrell Lansana was going to be dominating
No.
that wide receiver right now. So that's
yeah, this is
another big
definitely a
shock.
huge shot.
Yeah.
Because this is where you usually see, it's because we didn't see him on the ARC side, but like Piku McCullough used to be in this lot. We're not seeing Harsh Curry.
Amari Manning.
We're not seeing Amari Manning. We're not seeing CJ Robinson.
Mm-hmm. Times are changing.
Yeah, man. We're not seeing Elijah Bentley used to be in this all the time.
Oh, he's been out for a couple of years. He's still eating low key, but it's crazy when you think about how good those guys used to be, and now they're you just forget about them. It's crazy. So no tight end, no offensive line. So we're going straight to D line now, and pretty sure, yeah. So for best D lineman, oh well, gave away defensive player of the year. Marvin Woolfolk. This guy is 33 years old, still leading and winning awards. Hands down Hall of Fame legend.
He won it last year.
Yeah, won it last year. Looks like he might win it again. We got Tyrone Johnson, The Elks was going crazy. I think he's tied for the record of the most sacks in a single season of 7. Then you got All Brown of the Diablos, Justin Blackman of the Marshals, Nashawn Richardson of the Steamers,
I think it's
Mar
James
Rivers,
Black.
James Blackman. Oh, I said Justin. My bad. Think about the wide receiver back in the day, I guess, of Jags. But
Yeah.
Maurice Mar Rivers of the Barons, Nick Oquin, the rookie of the Barons. There got Kevin Fry. Is that Fry or Frey? I think you could say it either way. I'm not sure. I've been calling him
I always
Frey,
said
so I'm gonna stick with
Fry.
Frey. But yeah, Snowhawks at 8, and then you have the Lizard, Diego Lizarraga, the Steamers at 9, at 10, Chase Schilling of the Lumberjacks. Okay,
Of course, I'm not shocked.
yeah, Marvin's been doing his thing, man. There's no other names that pop out here. It's usually guys you look at, for defensive, other than of course Nyshawn Richardson for sure. But there's a lot of new names on here too, man. So that's big time. Um, Let me see.
The D line of the year is going to look exactly the same. Are we just going to skip that one?
Yeah, D line's the same deal, man. We got Marvin Wolfalt. So yep. I
So
don't
that
even
takes
see
us to
the I don't even see the photo for that anyway. So yeah, I didn't even get that. But it's pretty much the same as this for D line. Linebacker. Now this one shocked me. I think someone's gonna be hyped. Let the guy know. But Daniel Severio on his way to win a Best Linebacker of the Year award. So that's big. I know he's a big time community member, man, and he's been putting in work, man, since some USC days, coaching USC still too. And he might win his first award as a player here in the RFL, man. So that's amazing. Then you got Steve King Jr. from Miami there, now with the Crusaders having a great season. Jacob Reed Jr., Justin Uran, Taylor Mays, Reggie Craig, Imani Adams, Dylan Lewis, the linebacker of the Elks, and we got Dewan Forbes of the Crusaders and Kenny Summers of the Monarchs. So those are your stand-up off-ball linebackers right now in their orders for the award. And the last one before we get into rookies, we have to do Offensive Player of the Year too, is the cornerback of the year for the NRC right now. And who leads that? Let me see. There you go. DB of the year for NRC is Frederick Roper, the old vet man, going out in his career, more than likely with a bang here. Leads the whole league in picks with just 4. But picks have been hard to come by for individuals consistently in the RFL so far. But Roper's got the most. Then we got Clayton Zeno of the Diablos. We got Juan Redden, the rookie with the Marshals. There goes another guy. He's got 2, or I think it's 2. Uh, is it Kurt Russell? No, I ain't no Kurt Russell.
I think it's Cameron.
Cameron Russell. Thinking about the actor now. Switching too many guys up. And you got Joel Howard at 5. I don't know. It's Michael Carney. Yeah, Carey.
I'm not sure about that one.
Yeah, Matt. Oh, it's Matt Carey of the Shamrocks. This guy's even wearing a weird number. I think he wears 11. So he's definitely out of left field. Markel Wilcox of the Monarchs. You got Tyreek Bridges the second, Xavier Mays, and Zion Anderson. The Diablos there for best DBs. And now we will go to Offensive Player of the Year for the NRC. And it's Madison Axel right now with all those touchdowns. He got 14 touchdowns, leading the league in rushing, going crazy. Kenny's still right behind him. This running back's going crazy, of course, in the NRC, as we talked about. And they're all at the forefront for the Offensive Player of the Year. Jacob McDonald, Amir Williams, Bradley Atagwe, Marlon Marshall's even in there. McCoy's thrown in the mix. I think he's the second quarterback out of the 10. Then we got Montrell and Santa, Tom Wilson, and then D'Amico Brewer. So those are your Offensive Players of the Year rankings. And the last, of course, categories are the Rookies of the Year. So for Offensive Rookie of the Year leading so far, you have Dior Gore, wide receiver, over his quarterback, Colorado Rivers. I find that kind of weird. But I don't think I think Rivers has maybe, and he don't even have that many interceptions, but he don't have too many touchdowns through the air. Maybe that's what's getting him a little bit.
I think he's 9 touchdowns, 5 interceptions.
Yeah, so that's kind of what's getting him a little bit. But yeah, Dior Gore looking to be in for a treat for XP. But then another guy who's been going off crazy too is Steve McCaskill, the Tigers wide receiver. He's been eating. Rohan Boxey there at 4. We got Charlie Dotson at 5. Brian Schneider at 6. Talon Ross 7. Randall Wolf at 8. That's generic tight end. Generic running back Vince Reed at 9. And then at 10, generic running back out of Penn State now with the Gunners, and Abraham Powers. So those are your Rookie of the Year nominees so far and leaders. And the last award to go through for Defensive Rookie of the Year, it is Nick Oquin. This was no shock. We kind of did predict him to lead for Defensive Rookie of the Year. He was a beast out of college, and there he is leading right now, leading all rookies in sacks. Then we have, what's his name? Rondell Smith Jr. For the Condors at second, Lou Burks third, Hassan Bird fourth, Duke Cushing fifth, Edward Schuler sixth, Demarius Regis 7, Juan Redden 8, Zion Anderson 9, and Underwood. Why am I blanking on this rookie?
Raheem.
Oh, Raheem Underwood. Yes, from Oregon. Yep. So those are your award leaders right now at the midway point of the season. Whoever gets it's going to get a big payday in XP. So rookies, keep upgrading, keep showing up for y'all games, get it done.
You didn't show who's currently leading for MVP.
Oh yeah, of course. That's why I saved that for last. MVP. Chase McCoy, man. How crazy would it be if this guy wins a reload bowl towards the end of his career and an MVP and goes out like that? That would be crazy. He's never won a league MVP before. So man, he's definitely having his best years at the end of his career. You got Calvin Poole right behind him. Either way, the way this is looking, the defensive player too, you got Jermaine Taylor there. That's kind of crazy, but I don't feel like they're going to outshine an offensive player. But it could happen. It could happen. Yeah, I think it's going to, right now with the way it's going, it looks like it's going to be McCoy or Poole, which, again, that would be crazy storyline for McCoy. And Poole in his third year to win an MVP would be amazing for his storyline. And then you got Jermaine Taylor there at 3, which says a lot about what type of season he's having. Tyon Nickerson at 4 in MVP race. Madison Axel got him over Madison Axel. But of course, that's because it's quarterback. The touchdowns and stuff he's got. Then you got Preston Schrader, LC3 at 7, Monte White 8, Geno Cannon 9, and Daryl Johnson 10. So those are your top 10 MVP nominees right now at this point in the season. So, man, so much can change. Great seasons going on. What's your thoughts? Who you thought would be leading for MVP this year, man? Because I don't think no one saw McCoy or Poole coming.
I think I had Wagner as my favorite at the beginning of the year.
Yeah.
Him or DJ.
Yeah. So we have now went over the awards with you guys. Still got some stuff, man. Which honestly is okay. Now it would be the schedule. So let's give our predictions on who we think. Hold on, where is the schedule at? Schedule reveal. Boom. Okay, yeah. So this is the upcoming schedule for this week, man. The Snowhawks and the Condors kicking us off on Monday night. That is going to be amazing, an amazing start to the second half of the season. Let me go ahead and pull up the I'm gonna pull up the spreads real quick, and then I'm going to ask you, who you got winning this. Let me see. Okay, for spreads, I am in favor of the Condors to win this. Um, the Snowhawks beat them last time. Snowhawks have kind of been on a little bit of a dip, but I did also make these spreads before they made that trade. So if I did have to rechange this, I would choose the Snowhawks now, but the spreads currently have the Condors winning this one by a point and a half.
Yeah, I think I would take the Snowhawks in this game.
All right, Tuesday night game you're calling. Crusaders still trying to keep their season alive, 3-5. Barons, same deal, trying to get to 500 at 3-4. Barons got the home field advantage. I'm going to take the Barons with how they've been looking, man. I think they get to 400. They're on fire, especially after a huge win over the Snowhawks. I think that's all the momentum you need to really get this team going, especially with the weaker second half of the schedule that they have. And I've got the Barons by 2.5.
Yeah, I mean, after the Barons beat the Explorers and the Snowhawks in the last two games, they have to be. I have to take them over the Crusaders.
Yep. And then following that game on Tuesday night, 9 p.m. Pecan, going to be calling the Voyagers versus Black Knights. This is a huge game here. Voyagers, if they win this game, they go into week 10 and with a 7-1 record to match the Huskies, who they'll be playing next with the same record. And that should make for a mega game right there to watch, must watch action. But they got to get it done on the road in London though first against the 4-3 Black Knights, who have been very competitive and definitely can shock you. I'm going to go with the Voyagers though by 2.5.
I'm going to take the Black Knights to upset them here.
Oh man. Okay. So then we get into the premieres Wednesday night. Rodney trying to flip around the season, get close to those losses. And then, of course, the Desperados pretty much at that point. They cannot afford to lose no more games like that. They are 2-5. Get to 3-5. They need this win. I'm going to take the Monarchs, man. They played in a lot of close games, played really well. And I think Rodney, has done a pretty good job. Desperados have fallen off. We don't know what the health at times going to look like for Marquise Washington. So I'm taking the Monarchs by 2.5.
Yeah, I'm going to take the Monarchs here because I can't think anyone in my division.
Then we have the Pioneers versus the Elks. I am going with the Elks in this one. I just feel like this is a really good, well-rounded team that's like middle to pack competitive. I know the Pioneers can be too, but as of lately, they've kind of slipped up. They had a really good win against the Bulls, but it was a heavily injured Bulls team, and I don't like how they were looking the weeks before. And so I just think that the Elks are a better team, and I've got them winning by 2.5.
Yeah, I'm going to take the. Who do you have favored?
Elks.
Elks. Yeah, I'm going to stick with the Elks. I think the Pioneers are still looking for it, and I think the Elks are trying to make a push over the hump.
Okay, then we get into 6 p.m. games. Steamers versus Lumberjacks. I'm going with the Steamers here in this one. They've just looked very dominant. Lumberjacks have been having a really tough schedule. This adds to that. I think the Steamers continue on with their dominance, improved to 8-1. And I got the Steamers by a touchdown in this game, 6.5.
Yeah, I would take the Steamers by more than that.
Then we have the Diablos, so your team versus the Tigers. So you don't need to give a prediction, but what I do have, I have the Diablos by 4.5 in this one. Of Of course, that tie was great resilience from the Tigers. They had a shot to win that one. He technically could say the same thing with the Diablos. If it wasn't for Eminem running out of bounds. But the Diablos, they gotta win this one. You guys gotta win this one. Even with the Tigers on the road, I just feel like they just put their best forward. It's going to be hard to do that twice in a row against you guys. So I'm taking you guys in that one. And then at 8 p.m. Eastern, it's a former, I still say the Columbus rivalry, something new, as the two former Columbus teams that we had in the RFL will be clashing in Columbus as the Aviators take on the Explorers. Explorers have been losing to weaker end teams lately. That's where they got their two losses. But this is a team they should beat. I mean, you got, again, a rookie quarterback, and the Aviators haven't really played have not played comp up to this level. But the Explorers also lost, a key member on their defense, dropped them significantly, which could be of assistance. I'm going to take the Explorers, though, by 6 or more points with a 5.5 spread.
Yeah, I'm going to take the Explorers with that spread. There's no reason they should lose this game.
And then on Thursday, we have the 1-6 Red Dragons, who we know is thugging it out on the road in Chicago, a Chicago team that just got embarrassed against their rivals at home. They're not looking to have that happen again. So the Cougars, I am going to rock with them by 6 or more points in this one with a 5.5 spread.
Yeah, I'm taking the Cougars until the Red Dragons can show me something. There's no reason to pick them.
And then we got the Bulls at 4-4. They've just gotten rid of 2 key members, and they have a plethora of key players injured. So they're definitely handicapped, but we also talked how bad the Armadillos are doing so far. But at the same time, I mean, they just added Chamberlain, of course, to this squad. And I did make the spreads before all of this happened. So I chose the Bulls by 3.5. I'm going to go out on a limb. The spread is what it is. It says the Bulls will win by 3.5. But I actually am going to take the Armadillos after the Bulls won't have Derek Herrera or Tavares Golston. I think the Dillos defense is now going to be better and have more opportunities to give their offense.
Yeah, I'm actually also going to take the Armadillos in this one. I mean, with Nyshawn Miller starting, the best way to beat them is to get after the quarterback, and you just got rid of your best pass rusher.
Yeah.
So I'm going to take the Armadillos.
And next we have the Gunners versus the Thunderbirds. Man, these guys have made for some great games back in the day. More specifically, just thinking back to season 7, man, that was amazing. But I'm going with the Thunderbirds, man. After their tough loss that they took, they're definitely looking to try to bounce back against a 2-6 Gunners team. They got to get that defense in check. That's a big thing. They got to stay competitive in the South. So I've got the Thunderbirds winning this one by a touchdown or more with a 6.5 spread.
Yeah, the Gunners are going to go in there and kick some T-Bird butt. So let's go, Tyon.
Then we have the Celtic Tigers and Dreadnoughts. Now, the Celtic Tigers have been a thorn in the Dreadnoughts throughout their franchise history. Frankie has, I don't know if he's ever beaten the Celtic Tigers before. If he has, maybe just one time out of his whole career facing them. But the CT is 1-6, and the Dreadnoughts being 4-4, they've had their up and down, inconsistent moments. I'm going to take the Dreads in this one by 4 more points with 3.5 spread.
I think the tradition is going to continue, and I'm going to take CT.
Okay. And then we have the Marshalls versus Shamrocks. I'm going with the Marshalls to win this one with a 3.5 spread, despite the Shamrocks having the home field advantage. Again, another team that knows they have to stay competitive to try to keep up with the Steamers. They cannot afford to lose this game if they want that shot and to try to win the East. And you got to do it against your division rivals, and I think that they get it done.
Yeah, I'm also going to take the Marshalls here with the spread.
And then on Friday night, Bison's getting primetime game. Crazy, but they're 5-3. Bulldogs are a great team. They've been struggling on offense, though. This is an opportunity to put the league on notice on what the Bisons really are. How good is this team? They're looking to bounce back after their loss. Can they do it against Coach Bartman? We will have to find out. I'm taking Coach Bartman, though, in the Bulldogs because you got to prove you can beat them. And I've got them, but with a 1.5 spread.
Yeah, I got the Bulldogs. It's gonna be a very defensive game, and the Bulldogs have the better defense. So,
All right, and so that is the schedule and our predictions for week 9. Man, we've been going through everything, bro, and I think we've hit everything now at this point. And so the last thing we have is fun facts with Pat. Anybody who's still left, we have 4 questions for you, and whoever can answer them on time, you're getting reloads. All right, so 500 reloads for each question you get correct. And so let's go ahead and put those up. So first question from Pat. Oh, let me get this out the way. Just giving y'all some extra time. So question number 1. Which RFL team is currently on a 6-game losing streak? Should be pretty easy to find real quick. First one to get it, 500. Got some 6-loss teams, but who's lost 6 straight?
CT.
Oh, CT. Who said it first?
CP, because Flame is typed.
Yeah, Flame can't spell, so he done lost it.
It's
CP done took it from him. Oh, man. Come on, Flame. Oh, yeah. CR is crazy. But yeah, it's the Celtic Tigers. Last team week 1 versus the Shamrocks was when they won. Have not won a game since. So that's tough. Question number 2. How many first round picks, draft picks, were traded since the last RFL podcast? That's a crazy question. I guess you guys might as well throw a random number out there and hope it sticks.
Now, my question for this is like, is he counting like? Because technically, 6-3. My draft pick, my future verse was traded twice. Is he counting that pick once
Well, somebody's
or twice?
got it though, and it was Hove. 7. 7 draft picks. It says 1 in Ingram trade, 1 in Manuel trade, 1 in a Honcho trade, 1 in AW trade, 2 in the Chamberlain trade. So this is including what just happened, and 1 in the Church trade.
So he included my future first twice.
Oh, so this is inaccurate?
Well, so remember I traded my future first for Ingram, and then when Roland made the trade for Rashad Chamberlain, he traded my future first again. So, I mean, it was traded. I mean, 7 first-round picks were traded. Just one of them was twice.
Oh, okay. All right. Question number 3. The last time the Snowhawks played the Condors, who scored the winning touchdown with 58 seconds left in the game? And this was in the NRC Championship, by the way. Oh, hold up.
What do you mean? The last time the Condors was week 3.
Oh, yeah, I forgot. Yeah, I forgot.
And I remember what it was. I remember who it is.
Yeah, this one's gonna get guys. I think the time's gonna
because
run
I
out on
think
this one.
Cars Curry, McCoy, McDonald.
Nope. The refs.
Pecan.
Nope.
Keith Guyton. Not Kevin Guyton. Jay Hayden.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3.
The running back.
2, 1, 0. Hit close, Pat, or fours or somebody. So I know it's over.
Well, oh yeah, I gotta give the chat, but it's closed. No one's put anything in. The last message was no right answer yet by Pat.
Okay, cool. All right, so It was Xander Gold Jr., fullback
Yep, I remember.
of the Pioneer of the Snowhawks. So Pat gets 500 there. Nobody got his question. And the last question, fun facts with Pat, and we're ending this. No open questions, guys. This was a long pod. The last time we did fun fact with Pat, there were 2 players with over 800 career receptions, Shropshire and Guyton. Now we have a third. Who is that player?
I don't know this off the top of my head.
I think this is going to get guys. This is a good question here too, Pat.
So it's going to be someone who's been here since like season 1, like the rest of them.
Or season 2. There's a little extra hint.
Season 2. So if season 2 is the hint, that means they started in the NRC.
There's no way it could be London Lions. He retired. Yeah, he retired last year.
Reeves, Matt Nayani, Sylvester Leach, London Lions.
Yeah, this one's going to get guys. We got 20 seconds here.
Elijah Bentley.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3,
Montreal and Santa.
2, 1, 0. This guy's going to slip y'all's heads because this guy used to be great. All right. Still is great. Probably going to go down as the best tight end in RFL history up to this point. And that is Dexter Roy of the Monarchs. 811 receptions. This guy's been winning tight end of the year. But he's definitely got the most tight end of the year awards. And he's probably won 4 of them. That's how much of a beast that dude's been. So, yep. That is it. Shout out to Pat for the questions. He gets a stack.
CP and Hove.
CP and Hove gets 500. And that is it for this long pod that spanned over 3 hours. My goodness. But, man, Forbes, appreciate you getting on here with me, man. And
yes, sir.
Man, that would have sucked to try to do all that on my own. But we will see you guys for the start of week 9. And I'll just put the schedule graphic up here for you guys to look at. And we're going to go ahead and sign off. Peace.